Um, yeah, so thanks for coming, guys. This is just a breakout session from the normal program, where we get a chance to discuss about the challenge of the young people, the early career support challenge, what we've maybe learned so far. If anyone has any thoughts based on, for example, the industry session, the industry panel, the academic panel, the proposal writing workshop yesterday, which for me was really useful. I'd like to quickly mention some points from there. Before I go, does anyone have anything they want to contribute based on what we talked about before, what early career support wants and things like this, taking into account what we've seen over the last few days?
One question.
Mm-hmm.
Was the proposal workshop recorded?
Yes, yeah. All the sessions are recorded, and I'll send the slides around afterwards as well. But I'd encourage you to watch the talk. Nigel said quite a lot of sensible things, I think.
He always does.
Yeah, listening to what he says, I think is useful. So I could really kick us off. You remember one of the things we had down as a membership benefit? It maybe makes sense for us to write it on the board so we can all see. One of the things we had down as a membership benefit was the backlog of webinars that we could advertise to people. Like that as a webinar would be really useful for me as a reference when I'm going to write a proposal, just to remind myself what he said. Mm-hmm. So like one of the things, for example, he was trying to talk us into understanding the background of who the reviewer of the proposal would be. Like when they'll be reviewing it, that they'll have very limited time to do this, that I'll annoy them if I make my proposal impenetrable. Mm-hmm. All these things were really good, and I'd like to have that as a refresher before I write my next proposal. Mm-hmm. So having that accessible, I think, would be quite good. So that, for me, strengthens the membership benefit for EPEC of the list of webinars. I'll write down on here the list of membership benefits we wrote down as a group the other day. If someone has better, does anyone have very good handwriting?
No, definitely not.
Would you mind? Yeah, my handwriting is not very good. So we had a backlog of webinars.
I see.
Sometimes I write stuff and I
Outreach opportunities.
Maybe you can just talk about it and everyone's
Yeah.
yeah.
Sorry.
Harry, no pressure.
And yeah, so that's something, for example, that's something, for example, that was useful for me today that I think would be useful for the rest of EPEC in general. Anyone else have anything they've had done so far might be useful for the whole of EPEC?
We talked about Slack and Discord, right? Mm-hmm. And I think the good thing about Discord compared to Slack is the ability to keep, big repository stuff, tools, data sets. We don't mind sharing amongst each other. So even if you come from different areas, planetary science, you never know what can be used.
Yeah, actually, sorry.
Yeah, used for different areas, even if you never know.
Interdisciplinarity.
Interdisciplinarity?
Yeah, interdisciplinarity. Yeah. As a feature. So during the augmented reality poster session yesterday, someone called Livia, who's responsible for challenge 1, which is membership benefits to the society, asked me what we thought of as membership benefits to EPEC. And interdisciplinarity is something that came up when I was talking to her. Because you don't know what you're going to learn from other fields. Yeah. Like even a way to plot stuff.
Yeah. Basically, access to information.
Yeah. Okay, so do we think we can put interdisciplinarity as a benefit?
I I think so.
Okay, anything else?
Maybe another thing that maybe came from the industry session yesterday. They basically talked about whether they could possibly do like a job platform, like for internships and something like this in industry, because well, everyone felt like this wasn't really a thing, and you had to look at LinkedIn like for really in-depth internships, which of course there are not a lot of. And so basically like a job portal for early career and well, maybe internships.
Okay.
It could also be in the newsletter actually.
And what?
Yeah.
We don't have EPEC newsletter right now, but
In the newsletter, is there a job opportunity section in the newsletter?
Sure.
Not under.
this is also something we might have in this folder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know
think
that
it's
there is
Slack.
on Slack, yeah.
Yeah, I've seen this as well.
Can I ask a question about that? So would you envision that just there's a section where members they know about any exciting job opportunities, or would you really want it to be also known to some industrial partners that they know that there's a section for whichever and which large community of EPEC members so that they can send it there themselves?
Well, at least as I've understood, like from discussion, it would be like for companies to advertise it more directly. Like imagine like a real job portal, like company X goes to advertise this position and just directly to the person that's interested. So I think like on Slack currently, there are just like career opportunities that some person at the institute where this is advertised, re-advertises. So,
Yeah, it's from members for members.
Yeah.
Yeah.
so suppose there might be a lot of stuff that's not covered or just that people don't notice because there's no one to notice at the institute if it's not like
And
really public.
and how because
How do we?
I know from experience, like
Yeah.
getting companies to be involved, that takes a lot of time.
Definitely,
If
yeah.
you are responsible for this, you need to greet them and let them know that it's there, and then like
Yeah.
remind them that if you have something, please send it to us. So
Yeah, they just brought it up real quick, so I'm not sure like whether they spent too much time or thought on it.
Was it
Yeah.
in the industry session?
Yeah, it was in the industry session.
Okay.
I think that Jared just noted it down.
Okay.
Well, as an initial thought.
It might be something we can latch onto, like we
Yeah.
can leech off of, but maybe we don't have to put any energy into.
Yeah, because I mean, like we're not EPEC is not really well. It's not the same one, so I don't think the industry guys are like an EPEC per se,
Yeah.
but it's like very adjacent.
Okay.
That's what I kind of meant. So probably not something that is for you to organize.
It would still be a membership benefit of ours
Yeah.
if it existed.
Yeah.
Maybe
Like-
we put it in brackets or something, just so we make it clear. Like it's not something we necessarily have to do, but something we could use.
Maybe I'm nitpicking here, just as like an EPEC membership or like the Europlanet membership in general.
Mm.
You have to distinguish between the two.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because that's true. Another quick thing to remember, when we started making this list, we were thinking of all the things we would want to see on like if we got a little brochure of why you should join EPEC, what would you want to see on it?
Mhm.
And that's something I'd want to see on there, I think.
But
Well, me personally.
or anything that helps to find a position even in academia or industry. It could be a
Just something
internship or anything.
facilitate.
Yeah.
That's the main benefit actually for early career,
Mm.
except for networking also.
Yeah.
But couldn't this be summarized when you put community? Like we are a community, and this means we provide the benefits of sharing job opportunities, sharing, as we all have multiple backgrounds, having an interdisciplinary discussion. I don't know. So couldn't this be like a little bit grouped under the fact that it's bringing together a community?
Also, because I also wanted to mention on the back of community, Nigel. So yesterday you asked a question about the Marie Curie fellowship application.
Yeah, I mean, he gave that example, so I followed that.
Yeah. So he was assuming you're applying for it now, and he was like, "I will find you a mentor. I will find you an example of a proposal." But that part of community, like the mentorship part of it, I think is super duper valuable. Like, yeah, I wish I was applying for a Marie Curie fellowship now because I know the advice would be really good. So yeah, I don't know if would that go under community as well, like mentorship for applications, because that is really useful. If someone like him would walk me through how to do a Marie Curie fellowship application, that'd be amazing.
Yeah. But isn't the mentorship also something Europlanet
Yeah.
itself directly advertised?
Yeah. So, but we can still have it as an EPEC. Like,
Yeah.
if we're telling people why they should join EPEC.
No, yeah, mentorship.
So is it part of the community or is it its own point?
I
I
think.
think it's part of the.
I'd say part of the community because if I read the word community, I worry if this is quite diffuse term.
Yeah.
But if
I'm
underneath it, I see,
right.
oh, it's got mentor. You maybe need to just guide me a little bit and tell me what it means. Mentorship, peer advice, like, and like when we say advice, this is I don't know how you would split it up exactly, but like I would like if I wanted advice, you made your suggestion was have an advice Discord channel. Yeah, like the advice needs to be clear. This is an informal setting where I can just ask you guys, hey, I'm giving a presentation next week. Here are my slides. What do you think? Like this is the informal bit, and then the mentorship is the more formal.
Yeah, that's true.
Peer review my proposal, please. Bit. We need to make that distinction. Thanks.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else?
Then we also had the point of what was it? Like something like annual week. We find a broader term for this, trainings and workshops.
Yeah. Yeah, that's not there. If I write that down somewhere.
Maybe just something like skills training or
Upskilling, is that too much of a buzzword?
It is, yeah.
Okay.
Like,
Training.
something like access to skills training opportunities.
Skill.
Yes. I don't know how you would say that otherwise.
Is training good enough? Just the word training?
Maybe training and workshops.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is workshops.
Workshops week.
But I feel training is also valid.
Skills
As much as
training.
it is a buzzword, it is
That sounds like I'm applying for a job. Yeah, promotion.
And it really depends how you put it in post. Like, do you really say we have this, or when you join EPEC, you can improve your skills with workshops or benefit from a huge.
That's a good
Then
point.
it's easier to write it down.
Should we, because when we talk about this tomorrow, I guess I will give just a list of stuff. So if we frame it in a list now, and then we can jazz it afterwards. I can see this when I'm talking. So
Sorry.
training.
So I'm just gonna write skills training and workshop, and then we can reformat.
Yeah,
how we
yeah,
actually
that's a
talk
good
later.
idea. Yeah.
Yeah, because
But I kind of feel like the top one is sort of part of the database.
it's a different thing, I would say, because backlog, it's
Maybe repositories are.
past event.
Yeah.
Access to-
sounds negative.
Yeah, that's
We
how I
have
hear
back,
it.
you don't know what to do with it.
There's this huge load of stuff. No one wants to do it. Yeah. Repository.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're both.
Yeah, database.
Yeah. Library.
Library. Oh, that
Sounds
sounds
very
nice.
fancy.
Yeah. Something else that we had on the list was funding opportunities. I don't know if we want to put this under the advice under the community section, or whether it needs to be its own thing.
I think it's pretty substantial. Yeah, that's the same thing.
So yeah, just funding opportunities.
Just free money, basically.
Yeah.
Would be good for it.
And one important one, like one I really liked for the community one was these like semi-regular catch-ups where it's not particularly, you're not bound to going every 2 weeks, but there will be people on a call every 2 weeks if you want to join and just say hi.
That's not really advice, right? It's more like be part of a social, like
Network.
a big community, big interdisciplinary community.
Yeah, where would you put it?
Community.
Yeah, if it's not advice from community, but that one is just community, and then
If we don't have the
It's from what advice?
segregated
And
Community.
cut off together separately.
Sorry, Charlie.
Okay, I wanted to bring up the word network because it's not on there, and it's. I mean, yeah, the bigger thing already is a network, but
Can't you double like what do you mean with interdisciplinary? Is that like
Well, these
just a
points
network,
are
an
like
interdisciplinary network? Like
Yeah,
your example?
there could be a subsection networking
Sorry, can you repeat
because
that?
it's an advantage of the network which is provided by EPEC, and it's not
The network.
specifically like confined in an area, but it's an interdisciplinary.
Yeah, just write that word.
You say you have a network, but the function of this particular network is that it's similar. So it has a lot of different people with different aspirations and different experiences. And knowledge.
Yeah, it's a selling point of our network.
Wow. How do we sell that's one of the helps?
In the community, it could say expand your network, expose yourself to other disciplines.
Collaborate.
Yeah, collaborate with other disciplines. Oh, that sounds nice. That sounds better.
Yeah. That's just so interdisciplinary, like good for them. But
Yeah,
if it,
that's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a very good one.
if it can help you in a way, then
The example I gave was I saw someone from another discipline present some plots that looked really good, and I would never have thought to do plots like that because we don't do them like that in solar physics. And it was so I stole that plot. Therefore, I did it.
Thank you. No, I was like the collaborative with I think collaborate with other disciplinaries. There was
you just an arrow to join it with the interdisciplinary.
this is why blackboards are better.
Okay.
Keep thinking I'm just writing words wrong.
Thanks for writing. We had I mean, the other thing we didn't mention on there yet is the working groups. I know we want to these need a bit of a restructure, but I still think they are quite useful ways to get stuff done. I don't know if we want to explicitly mention them on there or not, or whether the stuff there is covered. So, for example, funding opportunities mentions the money that you can get to do stuff you want. Do we want to specifically mention you can join working groups?
I think it's a good idea.
I don't want to say for CV purposes, but
Yeah.
So
that is kind of like how they're also sold a little bit. Like you learn valuable skills.
Especially management skills, like it was actually saying that we needed a lot of time management. That might be.
I think it should be mentioned because right now it's more the benefits you get, and you don't read that you can actually actively get involved.
Okay, yeah, that's a good point. It could even be, we don't have to write all this, but like get involved and improve your managerial skills by joining our working groups, something like that.
Enrich your CV.
Your leadership.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, join just put working groups for now, I guess. But yeah, so we do advertise this as a thing. Okay.
What about like having I don't know if you wanted a peer mentoring kind of thing. Like the community mentorship. Yeah, but that seems more passive rather than active. If you want to support something,
Oh, I see.
have like a list of what someone might be able to mentor you on.
Oh, have mentorship as its whole thing, and then underneath proposal writing, career advice,
Yeah,
interview practice.
yeah, because you can have passive, I guess, kind of takes the village to raise a child kind of thing. So.
Okay, yeah, that's a very good point.
Do we already have a scholarships list or something like that people can easily find?
There used to be one on the Europlanet website. I don't know if it's still there.
No.
Also, didn't Indu mention in her introduction that the early career support working group is working on?
They at least had or like a spreadsheet with job opportunities, I think, or something.
I've seen a screenshot of it.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's dated. Being realistic, I don't know, I think that's something that ESF could do, for example. I don't know if we can, I don't know, I feel like getting people to just churn through jobs and put them on a spreadsheet is quite a tricky thing to get people to do.
Yeah.
I think the ESF could probably do that for us. Okay, but access to something like that. How would you phrase that, or how would you frame it? Like European-wide scholarship, it's the European-wide opportunities database or something like that.
For scholarships.
Yeah.
And why is that different from funding opportunities?
Okay, then we need to make a clear this division because so funding opportunities, it can mean two things. Obviously, one, there is money available to actually do stuff within the society, and there is a list somewhere, and we can keep it up to date. But there is a list of places you can go to apply for funding. We need to write those two separately. Then this is a good point.
Since we don't provide funding, actually, we also provide a list of funding opportunities.
Yeah.
So the scholarship is the same. So these two might be subsections of these funding.
Yeah. So if we like a list of opportunities.
Yeah, list of like funding and scholarship opportunities.
Yeah.
But we might
If we
find
put just opportunities, because they might even put jobs in there or something as well.
opportunities related to money.
So it's like just remove the job from this one.
Oh yeah, and then that can include the scholarships and everything. Yeah.
But this would definitely be something that needs to be maintained by someone who's
And this is why I think
also
it's
paid by Europlanet, because this is huge.
yeah, I agree. This is why I think it's not something I've ever used before. For example, I actually don't know where I would find it.
But that's something really good that we could give to the Europlanet Society. We want that for early career support, just to have like a portal where you can access like job opportunities, scholarships, funding for.
Something I got asked actually yesterday by Olivia was if Europlanet could, so we have software like our university advisors, for example. Is there any software that our university doesn't pay for that we'd like access to that we pay for at the moment that Europlanet could negotiate like membership with, so we get it for free if we're a member, like Adobe or something? But I guess it's quite expensive. But do you have any software that you use?
That's a great idea, but it would be way expensive for Europlanet. That's why.
Yeah.
Not appreciative.
They asked the question. They asked.
Early career Adobe would be very nice.
I thought of Adobe, but then I thought it was a bit cheeky. I mentioned Overleaf, like the premium version of Overleaf.
My university provides that.
For me as well, but I don't think.
Mine doesn't.
Yeah.
Neither does mine.
I don't think.
This was my only thought. I couldn't think of anything else. Any other software?
AI could be a good selling point, actually. Subscriptions instead of softwares.
To AI
Yeah, because
generation.
they do everything basically, and like from spell checking to like summarizing.
What's that?
Yeah, any AI subscriptions.
Like ChatGPT, basically.
Yeah,
Yeah.
ChatGPT Plus, for example.
That's one
I
thing that I
think,
know.
to be
Grammar.
fair, I think that might be difficult code because
Yeah.
not all universities are already like on board with
Yeah, a lot of them.
that.
Right?
Isn't ChatGPT already free to some degree?
Yeah, also.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah, 3 is free.
The slideshare generating one that costs is very nice.
Is this slideshow one?
Yes, there is a presentation generating one that's,
Is it any good?
from what I've seen, it's very good.
We put that one on.
So, could you repeat what's the problem with the university?
So, because with ChatGPT and it's now widely available, like a lot of universities don't know how to handle it. Because there's a lot of uncertainty, like can you use it? And if then, like how is it plagiarism? Should you, how should you cite AI? If you just like they're.
Yeah, but we don't
No, but
say people like do your homeworks with your AI or you write your papers with it. They can also use it as a spell checker.
Yes, but exactly, that's the point. Like, I'm not saying personally that I think that you shouldn't use, but I think that because it's still very
new.
I'm just saying it's very new, and there's like some universities that really already have said like we don't want people to use it at all, which I think is stupid. But you know, it's not yet. I feel like the scientific world needs to have like consensus on how to deal with it, and then you can.
Feels like a big endorsement.
I understand your concern, but it's also a good way to show that we are one step ahead and we are following the upcoming news. Since it's Europlanet, we are all in like space-related research, so it might be
So fair point.
opportunity to promote it.
Spell checker.
Yeah,
If there's a
spell checker would be good.
no one's going to write the whole article using ChatGPT.
Yeah.
Because if that's the case, ChatGPT accesses internet. So if you keep using what ChatGPT writes, you're gonna make the AI worse because what the AI already wrote is going on the internet. And it's accessing what it's so using it as a plagiarism tool is not a good idea. It's just going to ruin it.
Yeah, but it doesn't stop people from doing it.
Yeah.
And
But it's people's their own responsibility, right? I mean, it's already free, it's already accessible. We are just talking about.
But if it's
plus,
already free, then also what's the benefit in offering it?
Plus membership stuff has some advantages, and actually there are some note-taking applications which also provide AI for like Notion.
Oh yeah.
Right. So universities, as far as I know, do not provide any subscription or anything like that. But Notion has a premium membership, and when you are a premium member, you also have access to AI. So you both have a note-taking application and AI. So it's easy to write.
You specifically with AI, you mean like language AI,
Yeah.
like things that can write.
Yes, but when
Because
you
you know
use,
AI is like quite a bit more things that it can do.
yeah, I
That's
understand.
So you're really doing
Yeah,
like
fair point.
language bots.
But when you use this AI in Notion, you can, for example, create easily tables, schedules, and it writes like codes for you, Python codes or Fortran codes, whatever you need. So.
I mean, I don't know if this is a more personal thing, but always that question of should you use spell checker on your work if it's your current research, because then the way that the AI stores the information in the process. So we've always been warned in not kind of filtering our work, for example, papers with AI or online kind of such because obviously every time it works for it, it uses it to build its own knowledge. So it's kind of taking information that's not always yours. For example, I use data from other people.
That's a problem that needs to be like considered as
So that's what I mean.
humanity-wide. I mean,
yeah, but I mean, if we're endorsing using AI, that's kind of an issue in itself. If you're kind of
Yeah.
That way I would say like maybe just wait a year to see where it goes.
I also think the fact that this has spawned a whole discussion about whether AI is even good, like or bad, like I think this is exactly what would happen if we threw it upwards as well.
yeah.
But I think your point about trying to show we're on the cutting edge, like the people in Europlanet are maybe a bit more experienced.
Nice way to put it.
It might be cool to propose like a workshop on the pros and cons of like the dangers and the advantages of using generative AI to assist in your research or something. That would be a cool webinar, and I think people outside of Europlanet would come to that. I would definitely watch that. As a way to do what you said about showing we're still forward thinking.
I mean, my research as well is called. That can be up to pretty good.
That might be something we should think about doing outside of this membership thing. Yeah, that's a good call. Yeah, okay. My initial gut reaction is I think they will have the same reaction as because even like UCL, my university, we allowed it and said if students use it for their exams, they have to cite it. All the ex-students used it and none of them cited it. So now there's a huge thing about can we give like hundreds of students academic misconduct marks on their records, and then the uni now thinks they're going to forbid it. So UCL like is even still going sideways on what it should do. So I think it's still maybe too soon.
Same with KU, and they just send out an email every week or so, and it kind of changed the policy. So.
Yeah. Okay. Any other software, real quick, while we stay on that point?
Not like data processing software like Origin Pro.
I don't know this one. What's
So, I mean, for lab-based work, yeah, if you want to kind of do plots, it's kind of very easy to manipulate your data and to do different plots rather than doing, and it makes it more publication worthy rather than doing it on Excel, which is very much frowned upon. And if you don't know how to code it as well, it will just do it for you in a more user-friendly way. But you do have to you can get a free kind of student trial, but that only lasts about 6 months. So if you got a free PhD, that's not very good.
It's a great suggestion.
Yeah.
okay? Would you mind writing a list of these on the
I'm strongly argue for it because
Okay.
it really is interdisciplinary as well.
I'll look that software up later. I've not heard of it.
You can do like spectral stuff on there, chemical data.
Okay.
How do you call it?
Origin Pro.
I also maybe mentioned GitHub, so you can get with a student, with a student, and this was in general another point for people in EPEC who are out of academia right now, but still want stuff you get when you're in academia, like GitHub, for example. If you have an academic email address, then you get GitHub Copilot and all these other like big storage and stuff, for example. Would it be useful, or would it be something we could do to like try and help fill the gap for people who don't have access to these things because they're a year out while they're waiting for their PhD or something? Would this be useful, or do you think this is too small a market?
I think it's not just people that are outside of academia, it's also just people who do research, not in an academic institute. For example, my institute, we're not a university, but I'm still affiliated with the university. I don't have that problem with a lot of my coworkers who are also part of the EPSC. They don't have an academic email address, even though they just do research. So I think it's more than just the people that leave. There's like lots of small like research institutes that have that same problem.
Okay.
In that sense, I agree that would be very useful.
Because one thing she said that the ESF had floated was, on the IAU page, every member gets like their own web page. I don't know if you've seen this. They were just wondering if people would want this in Europlanet too. Like you've got a home page you can point to that isn't like it's not LinkedIn, but it's something on Europlanet that says, "Hi, James is a member of Europlanet. He's in this committee. He does this. Here's his face."
That would be good because if anyone searches for names or Europlanet or a working group in general, and that can appear, that would be nice.
Okay, so that's actually something.
If it's searchable by discipline as well, that'd be very handy.
Yeah, so a filtering system.
Side note, Peter, is Origin Pro from Origin Lab? Is it that one?
Can I see? I recognize the logo, but
Yeah, no.
it's different, I think. They're like similar, but I think Origin Pro is its own separate thing.
Yeah, Origin Pro uses machine learning for its analytics.
That doesn't sound. I also use that.
Yeah, it's AI for a lot of that statistical analysis process.
Oh, but this
Oh,
is
no, but not when you plot the data, it does, because it's all done on your computer. Like the one in our labs is connected to
It's
internet.
not offering subscriptions, and the issues of offering subscriptions with AI application. It's AI data analysis.
At some point, it's good. You know,
Gonna
Word
be
is going to
hard
have
to-
it included.
Yeah.
It is.
I know.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So what about Adobe? You said earlier.
Should we put it down as like
Pretty sure
a
Adobe has AI now too.
Yeah.
Has AI.
Through the lights somewhere.
There are some
Almost
open
every
source
software is AI.
programs alternatives to Adobe products. So
I still never found a good PDF one.
PDF now. Photoshop, you have again PDF.
Should we write it? They did ask what software we'd want. And UCL, for example, don't pay for it. Like the premium one. So I can't get the Adobe softwares anymore.
I mean, just get one that can manipulate PDFs, because I need to do it like quite often. And
Do you have a solution or not?
no,
Yeah, same.
yeah, that's
horrible.
why. Yes,
Okay. Yeah,
It is the most expensive.
yeah.
yeah. So anything that can.
Even the PDF editor off of Adobe, you can buy individual things, I think,
Yeah,
right? Not just the whole thing.
Yeah.
Well, they asked what we'd be interested in, and the answer is Adobe.
That's the answer.
Yeah.
So what, this one?
I think we should leave it on if it's just one subset of tool sets.
Yeah,
Not like you.
not the entire thing.
Are you talking about
Yeah.
discounts, by the way, or?
Well, they were saying what would we
Provide-
want access to so they could negotiate that Europlanet pays for like 100 members or 200 licenses, and then we can use them.
And yeah, there's another way actually. We could, and Europlanet could pay. This is one thing, and we could also contact these companies who produce these softwares and ask them to give us some like discounts for our members.
Yeah.
They can pay. I mean, our members can pay for their own memberships with a discounted rate.
Okay. That reminds me. Would you mind just making note that we could also ask for it discounted rather than like it doesn't just have to be completely free? That also reminds me, another question yesterday. Can any of you guys get for those of you who are PhD students or above, can you get your Europlanet membership refunded by your institute? You can. I don't think UCL would refund mine.
I can if you like do things like if I'm a member, I like can go cheaper to. So if then for the mission to EPSU, for example, to this, then I can like add it as an additional cost that they pay for.
Okay.
Yeah, same for me. Only if I attend the conference, I can hand in my membership fees.
Yeah. But
Okay.
I mean,
like
I
not
was-
standard rate.
We argue if it gives you long-term discounts and it's cheaper as well overall. But overall, hello, if it's related to anything research, it's kind of
Okay. So they'll refund it if you go to EPSC. Anyone who can't get it refunded. Okay, even if you go to EPSC.
Even if I go to AFS.
Where are you guys based?
Portugal. Lisbon.
Okay. Do you think it's a country? Another question that I got asked was: is it a country thing or an institute thing?
Probably country thing.
Okay.
Low funds overall.
Okay.
That's might be something for the software thingy. Better help for low underrepresented. Yeah.
So sorry, you say underrepresented countries maybe don't have these softwares.
No, just have better access, monetary access than non-underrepresented.
Sorry.
I was thinking if underrepresented countries could have better, I'd say, either instead of being free or something like that.
Oh, if we only have a limited number of licenses, then we first go to the
Yeah.
underrepresented countries. Okay, that's a good idea. Prioritize underrepresented countries.
Yeah.
That's a good point. So I'm a bit slow this morning. And GitHub is I don't know if we want to write GitHub on because some of us have it included anyway. But, oh no, sorry, you get it free if you have student email. It was whether we cover people who don't have student emails, and was the answer yes?
I would prefer yes.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So just it's stuff in general for people who maybe if you could put a point somewhere that just says we in general software that you get with a student email address, it would be great if you could get with the Europlanet email address because Europlanet's a non-profit, so most companies give stuff to non-profits.
By student email address, I mean university.
Yeah, sorry, university email address. Sorry.
Yeah, because that's actually the problem with research institutes that are government-based, because they don't recognize it as academic institutions.
Yeah.
So then you have to pay the business prices for things, which means that they don't do it usually.
Okay.
Thinking about certain programming languages. As when you leave your initial institution, you might go to another that doesn't have a license to that software anymore. You might lose access if you're used to programming with certain languages that require subscription or license to operate.
Are you thinking like MATLAB?
Yeah. I work with MATLAB.
Yeah.
These your institute give you? Okay.
Not anymore.
Okay.
I think they only have one laboratory with MATLAB installed. I tried that.
Maybe one similar to MATLAB is also Console, but it's so expensive.
Yeah, I never ever used those.
Okay.
There's like Octa, that's not the same.
Like proprietary programming languages.
Yeah.
It's very expensive.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah, I wouldn't give priority to that.
Do you want to put it and then just put low priority or something? Because they did ask they asked what we wanted, so I thought I would ask, and if it gets mentioned, we put it on the list.
The thing in programming language is that everyone programs on a different language or uses a different tool.
Yeah.
It's a bit,
So it gets
it's a bit too
exponentially.
fast to have something that can fit everyone.
Yeah.
Also, the mathematics, but that's so expensive.
Thankfully, my assessment mathematics.
I also thought about was access to journals. We discussed, like with Fleur, we had a discussion yesterday on lunch that the system is completely a bad system, we pay to publish and we lose the rights on our own research and so on. But, so for example, we don't have access, I think, to Elsevier, Icarus and so on. So it always is difficult to access publications published with them. I don't know, subscription to a couple of planetary science journals.
That's a good one. One thing I like thinking above EPEC for the Europlanet Society is they want to try to encourage institutional membership. So not just individuals can buy membership, institutions too. If an institution could buy membership and then get cheaper journal access, that would be really valuable, I think. Yeah. Good point. But yeah, the system's messed up. Okay, any other software that people are interested in? Okay, yeah, that's fine. Then back to the, I guess, general. Oh, yes.
Not all institutions provide Zoom, for example.
Yeah, mine also does. Oh,
Yeah.
we're even not allowed to use Zoom, so.
Oh, really? Because I was using Teams, but then I've had issues, and I'm just thinking out, I don't know if it's more people than just me, but half my collaborators can't use Teams for some reason, so it causes real issues. So, but then I'm limited half an hour on Zoom, so it becomes even more of an issue.
Same with WebEx for me, because here at Linux and WebEx just doesn't update with for Linux machines. So every couple of months you can't use it for a week.
It's really counterproductive.
How come you're not allowed to be at your institution?
Yeah, the university said, I think it's a US-based company or something. It's not, yeah. So they said we're not allowed to host a Zoom meeting, but we can be invited to one. So all the time I want to set up a meeting and like, please send me an invitation to a Zoom meeting. I cannot.
Okay, Zoom, that's a good call. And then just real quick, the profile pages for individuals, you would like that? Would people in general like that?
Yeah.
Okay. Would you mind putting that on as well?
Where? Which?
Wherever the space.
Oh, but still on this?
Yeah, like not under software, but under its own thing. Maybe we need a new heading.
It would also be cool if then at EPSC, and if there is a link that if you then clicked, like if there were presentations and you click on the name and then it links to the profile page on the Europlanet website.
Presentations or posters at DPSC, for instance.
Can we write this stuff on actually? Because they didn't say what they want on the profile pages, so I guess they haven't
yeah.
thought about it.
Research, like publications, probably.
A tag system.
Yeah, that system with, for example, your expertise.
Yeah.
Your region as well.
Your region, yeah.
So a bit like tag on over, because I found
Yeah.
it really interesting. So I went to rest planets, atmospheres, and people could
At least a search bar.
And if the hub survived, like your hub,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's nice.
And someone saying the poster that and the
Posters and presentations we could
give
Yeah.
quite nice.
Because also people can see how you present.
And with the publications, I feel like there are so many other softwares where you can, not softwares, but web pages where you can link your publications. And if you're, I mean, we're still early career, but there's so much going on and it will be such a nightmare to update this. And then people will just neglect it and then it's not well maintained.
LinkedIn link.
Maybe you could
That
just add
stays
the
forever.
links.
Yeah.
You just have your publications on there.
Yeah, I mean, if you would like to highlight your public,
Yeah.
sorry.
next to your org ID, then it's also
Yeah, or
You could
Yeah.
you can link whatever page you have most of your publications. You know, like, for example, our
Basically, there's a website.
site specifically for CV publications, it generates your CV
Yeah.
with the publication. So you could maybe have a few external links to whatever each one you use. Instead of updating another page.
Yeah, okay, good. Yeah, now that way,
That's better.
I believe so.
Could we have
But
like a
and also
CV making
another
tool
page where
specific
it
for
Yes.
lists
that?
all my articles.
exactly, yeah.
so a link to your personal page.
It doesn't say hi, maybe.
No, it just it's the find repositories for publication like ADS or archive. And it just links it because we have at our institution like a semi-automatically generated.
This is starting to lose some voice. Okay.
That's sample because most of our, if you're connected to org ID or something like that, just goes finds it. The publications and just adds them to your CV automatically. So you might have to.
Like in Word or something.
No.
It generates automatically.
Generates automatically. Some you have to put behind like presentations and such because you say it doesn't have a visual repository.
Maybe in general, some way you could upload your CV to. I'm sorry if you do have that down already.
So do you upload your CV?
Yeah, what does that do with people want that?
Maybe just
Maybe I could facilitate the production of your CV as much as possible.
So I personally don't think I'd use that. Oh, well, like I've got my latex set up
Oh, okay.
exactly how I want it, and it's okay.
Yeah.
So also usually the output that is good for generating a general, even sometimes have to for industry or academic.
Find this one when generating PDF because I don't.
If in that sense, it's more like a link to a page where you either have your personal page or where you uploaded your CV already, or like you can provide a link to where people can click. This is here you can find information about CV.
Yeah, but I was thinking more back to the software. Something to do.
Do you know other people who use this? Just because I don't doesn't mean other people.
Yeah, at least in our country, most of us use that online tool.
Oh,
Specifically, I think it's country level.
okay. Maybe just in Portugal.
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay. I'll put it down in here to ask them. Just
No, I was thinking more like an Europlanet, like CV generator, I guess.
like with a standard format.
With a standard format, yeah.
I wonder if this is a lot of work for the ESF.
I think it's
Could be,
Maybe
people
not.
will not. I think like most people want their own CV and have their own CV
Yeah.
on LaTeX.
Yeah, I'm just trying to
Well,
think
they
on the
might
side
think
of
it
the
is.
person that doesn't have too much trouble or spend too much time writing their CV.
Putting everything
But I think
onto another software.
that I think isn't that also something like the mentorship program you say like you can also talk about writing your CV and then for example if you give the advice say hey if you're trouble with this
Yeah. Okay. So if you're struggling to write your CV, Europlan can still help you,
Yeah.
but rather within an automated tool,
Yeah.
the mentors can do it. That's a fair point.
advice or
That could be, if we really want to get into detail, when you're making your profile page, that could be a little pop-up, like where it says upload your CV. Did you know Europlanet can help you with this through through the mentorship scheme?
You have the little click thing.
The little clip.
Yeah. But making a planner.
and isn't that like with those tags you could also like make them broader than just your scientific expertise but also if you think oh I'm good at making posters or presentations and if anyone wants to help with like if I just
Mentor.
yeah so
post
like I
mentor.
can find someone that's
Yeah.
like I say I want to make a presentation, I have no idea to, and I just look for the tag, like who says they're good at making presentations, and then I can just send them a message, hey, I see you.
Thanks.
That's an excellent idea. Yeah, I really like that because this whole society thing will come from this too. Because I'll see who I can go to.
Yeah,
because
facilitate the connections.
yeah, it's an excellent idea.
And maybe which is too obvious, but we haven't written it down yet, like position within Europlanet. So if you volunteer for one of the positions that it stated that, I don't know, you're the early career officer.
Just been saying.
Subject. No.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good set of stuff. Just going back through my notes.
I can shortly suggest one actually. Yeah, there's this subject I'm especially interested in. So most of the EPEC members, probably almost all of them, are students, and for students it might be relatively easier to find academic support, like mentorships and any advice like related to academic subjects. But it might be intimidating for industry-related support. So we have already discussed actually slightly, and yesterday I guess totally. We could just like these informal chat sessions actually regularly organize meetings from people from industry they could just promote their companies, they could just talk about the job opportunities they could provide, or they could just tell their own expertises and career path. So I believe this might be helpful for EPEC members because the word industry is getting more and more the same thing. The more and more like attractive, and at the same time, yesterday I found out it could also be quite intimidating for the students. So this is something
I think that's excellent. So Marcel and Geronimo, who you saw talk yesterday in the panel, they are the industry officers for Europlanet Society in general.
Yes.
So they're responsible for trying to build this connection, and I think Europlanet even paid them to do this. So yeah, this.
If you're interested, actually, we could even just even today just talk to them and see what's their opinion, if this is doable or feasible for them. Yeah, actually, this is, by the way, something I would like to discuss with Indu as well, because I would like to join the Early Career Support Working Group. So this is something we can also do under that working group. But since it's the name of the challenge as well, so I don't know how to organize it. So it's just you decide.
I think it goes hand in hand.
Yeah.
How do we mention industry explicitly in our membership benefits? Would you say? Because this is really good stuff. I'm wondering how we frame it.
Connections.
Well, a similar thing is going on in Freiburg actually. It's not my university, but one of our professors is organizing this, and they call it Industry Fridays. So they do it every Friday or every second Friday, I don't know, and they call it Industry Fridays, and then there's this explanation so everyone knows what it is, but I don't know how to promote it. We could find our own day, like Industry Sunday.
You want to do that every week?
Or that could be too much, I don't know. But let's try every month, and then for the second year, if there's like a huge interest, we could do that every week or every second week.
You could really hammer down the advertisement of the benefit that you connect to wider companies in Europe, because, for example, it might be more focused, or might have more knowledge about their own country, but if they want to kind of expand, they might not have the kind of necessary network to know what companies exist outside of, for example, Belgium or whatever.
That's a great one. So connect with industry across Europe.
Connect with industry.
Kind of acts as like a conduit, as I can't remember who likes that term.
Feels like there should also be a brochure, like companies that like give that. Oh, you should connect to the Europlanet network. You know.
Yeah.
Like they want a part of the EP.
I see what you mean. Yeah. Could you write that in brackets, what you said about the other way, like the two-way thing? Because a lot of these, like Geronimo and Marcel both talked about, they take on graduates, like, or PhD people when they need someone very specific. This is exactly the place they would come to find them. That's a really good point.
Get recruits in
Yeah.
Great. We might need to find a better name than like industry actually. I'm just thinking about some opportunities, some possibilities actually whom we could invite for such talks, and we could even invite people from like popular science channels or websites like YouTubers. That's also a private sector career for them. Yeah. I mean, with their scientific background, this is something they do in private sector. So it doesn't have to be industry, right? So
beyond academia.
yeah.
Oh, beyond academia.
Great.
Okay, it's pretty good. Anything else? Oh, where's everyone on the, like, EPEC having its own space, Europlanet having its own space on Discord? Has anyone thought any more about that? I think was the final conclusion to have two separate Discords, like two completely separate ones, but to still have a bit of an EPEC space in the Europlanet one.
Yeah.
Okay.
At least for chairs of the working groups.
Yes, that was it.
Like those for big announcements, like which also concern EPSC.
With the last toilet as a metaphor.
Yeah, I don't forgot. Don't worry. I write this down.
Europlanet is already quite complicated, and I've met many people since and throughout this meeting who don't really know how is the organization scheme works, and yeah, EPEC could be separated.
Yeah, the word confused, I think, is one of the most used words this week for me.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Each board does what is the society, what is the executive members, how is EPEC situated inside.
Yeah. Okay. Right.
Almost through it. Maybe because if you make a poster or brochure, you don't want to have like you want everything on it, but maybe like some eye catching, like what are the things you want to highlight? Maybe we can think like are the most important things. Because there's love now.
I think communities would be quite important for me, for example. Like I like these things because I get to meet new people and learn about. Yeah.
Yeah, like Nigel said.
Opportunities. One word and quite
Yeah.
I agree.
effective.
The opportunities.
If that's there, if it's not.
Yeah.
Yet.
Assuming we get one.
Yeah. Like opportunities is actually 3 times on it.
Yeah, it covers all.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I feel like the company thing is quite important if it was to exist again, because it kind of shows you that, again, you're not forced to go into that academic only route.
Yeah.
Escape room.
It's slightly less toxic.
I feel like development is like a key theme, but it's not actually one of the points.
Skills development.
Yeah, that the word development should come after skills, I guess, in there. Skills development, training and workshops.
Good buzzword.
Yeah.
Is capacity building the same thing with this, by the way?
Is also
Capacity building.
capacity building.
That maybe sounds like a buzzword that I really
Yeah.
don't know. What it
Yeah,
means.
it's
Like, so many. What does it mean?
Yeah, I'm just asking out of curiosity.
I never had it.
suggesting them, just wondering.
Did we see it earlier in the week?
capacity building.
Yeah, with yeah.
Wasn't the guy from Hungary last night also said that his job widening participation?
Yeah.
This I hear a lot in the industry, and I was hearing a lot in the industry. So I've never heard this in the academia, but there's
Like capacity is obviously how much
your skill set or something.
building that. Okay, yeah. Also, actually, just real quick, capacity, just the philosophical side of that argument. Capacity is like an empty space which you can fill, right?
Yeah.
You see, you can't build nothing. Like, can you build nothing? Interesting. Okay, yeah.
It's like it doesn't have a very inviting feel to it. Capacity building. It's like, oh, okay, now we're gonna expand it again. You feel more like a bird.
Yeah.
It's like a term, I guess. Improving skills.
Oh, okay, yeah, that was.
One question about the software development. This might be something illegal. So again, just out of curiosity, what if Europlanet had only 4 MATLAB licenses, for example, and we could just like what's the word for it? I don't know. For example, you could book the license for 2 hours.
But that depends if the license will allow you to do that. Okay.
And also, I mean, I don't. So technically, a lot of those software licenses work that if you have a shared license, so you're not technically supposed to use it for your research. Like, then I know that, for example, from Matica, because you get 2 licenses, you have clients. Then there's one personal license that you are not allowed to install on your work laptop. And because they know that people try to do that, just share the licenses and to get out of these huge costs. And then they have like these very strict rules, which you say, like, I don't know how they enforce it, but technically you're not allowed to do that. So.
I guess they can negotiate that though.
Yeah.
With them. So.
Do you want
This
to?
might be illegal, but
Well, Europlanet can ask if they're going through it. Can we have shares?
and I would really be interested in discounts for Adobe.
Yeah.
From the perspective of a user, of a member, it's like looking at the table. And yeah, I would definitely use Adobe discount.
Okay.
But that would not be on the EPEC. That's like the.
Yeah, if they do it for the whole society, then
Yes,
yes.
that benefiting being a bank is everything.
Yeah, true.
And what I would personally also highlight other working groups still.
Okay,
Because
yeah.
I can get involved. Yeah, and again, it's also related to skill training, kind of. You just do it yourself. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if the link is really obvious. But
Yeah, no,
it's
it's-
really important,
yeah.
especially if you want to take on, if you like move to kind of postdocs where they expect you to have more of a leadership experience.
Yeah.
I guess you're confident.
So then we need to highlight the benefits of getting involved. I mean, these are the benefits of being members.
You could do like
So-
career stories, I guess, if people that used to be on such working groups then tell you how they progress and how it helped them, rather than just listing this is what you can get from it. And
That's a good idea.
If you see a real life person,
Profile.
yeah.
A few profiles for the website might be quite nice. I think that's a good call.
Yeah, but you would suggest to look at existing or members of these working groups? Or...
No, so like, for example, you have the outgoing president now. So in the future, she kind of just said where this experience took her and helped her get to.
Okay.
Yeah, that would be, you kind of see a real life person and can connect more with that, rather than just seeing a list of benefits, which I don't know how to use this to.
Yeah. Would you mind writing that somewhere on the board as well?
Yeah, I really don't know. Could you like summarize that in one
Yes.
sentence?
So just having career highlight stories from people who used to be part of.
That's not a short sentence.
Yeah. Okay. Career highlight stories
Okay.
from
Members.
past members. I don't know how to summarize.
Nice.
Members of
Yeah.
the working group.
Alumni. Alumni. But past and present. Then you're also kind of showcasing like this is who we had and we're proud of them.
Yeah.
Rather than being by.
Makes it feel more alive as well, the
Yeah.
community, doesn't it? Okay, great idea.
That's not really like a brochure. Like,
Pamphlets.
here's the personal story. But then it's another lot of reading. Like you need something that's like catching because
So it doesn't.
people hate
Personally, it
to
doesn't
read.
have to be on the brochure,
Mm.
but it can be still on the website. That
Yeah.
Yeah. I was also would say you could have like, for example, I don't know, not even a monthly, more like quarterly, have one person come and give them like a thing where they are now. And especially if they're now then ascended to a position of some influence where they can help out also, then, for example, in industry, then they can be asked questions. So you can combine those two.
It would be a nice place to source workshop, like talks from if we do like
No,
a.
but that's taking that would be then a webinar. That
Yeah. Yeah, like from past EPEC members.
It's marrying that quite nicely.
Oh, actually, one guy came up to me and said he used to be an EPEC member and would like to give us a webinar on, I forgot what it was. It's something useful though. So yeah,
There you go.
one of those.
At least so you remember. Sorry.
Should have written it down. But yeah. Okay.
By the way, promoting industrial memberships also could be a way to support early careers, because when institutes become members, they can provide free memberships for their early career workers or employees.
Isn't that just the institutional membership? If the institute is a member, then all their members are members.
Technically, you only get 10 memberships when you become an institutional member, but yeah. So if your institution gets membership, you get your Europlanet membership for free.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And they could use these memberships for their early careers, for example.
Yeah, well, that would be, I guess that could be a little tag at the bottom. Don't forget, you can also, I don't know, because you need to be a Europlanet member to be an EPEC member, technically. I mean, in reality, it's like blurred, but yeah, you could just have something in the bottom, depending on what format all this takes. But don't forget, you can get free membership if your institution is a Europlanet member, something like that. I can write that down over here. Okay. There's a lot of good ideas.
This looks very busy.
Yes, I don't think it helped that.
The change up actually made it a lot better. If this is all red, I'm going.
I'll stick it down. We have another session up here, but I think we've already done a lot this session, so
Yeah.
I'll still be here next session, but I don't know if I think we've kind of gone as far as we can.
Yeah, I think
What's the next session?
We just have another breakout session scheduled.
So you're saying we shouldn't come?
Well, you're welcome to come and hang out.
Maybe still like before, because in the afternoon at 2, there's a session about EPEC and the regional hubs. Could we have like us already talk about that here a little bit more?
Yeah, that's a good plan. So we're supposed to have, at 2 o'clock, we're supposed to have representatives from all the hubs coming. I will send a message out on Hoover actually, just to double check they know that they're supposed to be coming. Just out of interest, did your hub chair tell you to go to that session?
No.
Okay. Then I will send a reminder on Hoover to the other hubs too. Basically the plan is, assuming they've made them, well actually,
So the chair of my hub is also the chair of Europlanet. No.
do you know she's coming to that session?
I don't. She just walked past actually.
Okay, okay. But the plan was that they would present for 5 or 10 minutes about what their hub does. I did email everyone asking them to make a presentation, whether they have or not, I'm not sure. There's one hub we didn't get well, actually, there's a lot of hubs we didn't get a reply from. But there's one hub that we didn't have a contact for, and I forget which one it was. You're from the Spain and Portugal hub, I guess.
Alejandro was like, yeah, 2 days ago. So
That's usually
also.
That's usually the one that most.
Yeah.
It's just going.
Okay, I have to check, but yeah, basically the plan is each hub presents for 5 to 10 minutes, and then we go into a discussion about how EPEC can actually help the hubs and try to understand what your roles actually are. Because at the minute they don't have a definition, so actually define the jobs of you guys. Yeah.
Or just if there's no job, then.
Oh,
That's
and
also
then scrap it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Do regional hubs have EPEC representatives?
So yeah, that's what these guys are.
Back officer for that.
And I'm
So I'm supposed to be a connection between the EPEC member.
I was fed with it. I'm so sorry.
But yeah, since I took on this mantle not long ago, and the person that had this position has already left for Korea, and contact is a bit blurred.
Mhm.
Not sure about what kind of connection I must be, what I must do. So that's why I was asking you yesterday about it.
Yeah.
Perhaps this will help.
Yeah, that's the whole point of the session.
Yeah, but thinking it through, looking at this, what we created, what EPEC could offer. I mean, yeah, we will have the discussion with the hubs and so on, and we'll also be interested in seeing more of what they do.
That's why this session is on Thursday, by the way, because I was hoping by now they would understand what they do.
Yeah, okay. But yeah, I would be really critical about thinking whether this will actually is necessary to, because you are two active members who are on that role, but you could also instead, if you like, be involved in EPEC directly, and
And I think as I think for my recipe is that the person who did it before me never had any contact either with the hub or EPEC. So I think the person before that is from the US. So they know personally. So
And the previous contact just told me, oh, you have regular meetings, you have to attend this meeting. Yeah, but
yeah, but that's
I'm not going to be a wallflower on meetings. I want to know what I can do, especially because it regards my career.
And that's the hub that even has regular meetings, because I know the Benelux hub does not. So.
Have you guys read? I need to mention them all the time, and I've not read them. Oh crap! This is recorded. The terms of reference for your hubs and your roles. Like apparently, there's a document that says what all these things are supposed to do.
No, that was a document.
Okay.
It's a thing to ask for, but there.
I'll try and dig it out maybe before the 2 o'clock session and read it. If I can find it.
Yeah, because that would probably be a good thing to pass around when we change positions in the hubs.
Yeah, I guess technically it's the responsibility of the hub chairs to send it to you, but I guess they don't know where to find it. This will be the 2 o'clock discussion.
Yes.
Okay, I'll try and dig it out before 2 o'clock.
For the German region.
there's
none.
it's open the position.
Who aside now finishing and going on to something else, who's going to the observatory excursion this evening? Okay, I've been told to tell you that the buses leave at 4. So no, yeah, the buses leave at 4. So don't meet here at 4. Be sat on the bus at 4.
Where do the buses leave?
I think from just outside the front of the hotel. So in the car park, but yeah, don't be late.
Who's the UK hub? Or is it possible?
Sorry?
But the UK hub thing, like in the position
Yeah, in general, that's the only hub not represented here.
in Ireland.
Yeah. Ireland and what's it? It's Ireland and UK. Ireland
Yeah.
and first even. Yeah, they're not represented here.
Well, I can't speak on behalf of the Irish.
It's Irish.
What's
it now?
Okay.
It was 4 8, maybe.
Or you introduced it to me as I'm 2H Irish.
Okay, then like I said, I'll be here next session. Those of you who have come for this one, I guess you're welcome to come and we can hang out, have a chat. So it's nice to see you all. But yeah, I think we've got a lot out of this, so it maybe wouldn't be super beneficial if you came to the next one. I'll be here if we get new people.
Basically, translation, I'm sick of you, please.
No, I'd be happy to get some insights. We can talk about later stuff. There's so many films, for example, I now know. Charles Space Test
Yeah,
game.
but you're filming. On contact.
Yeah.
Or we could reenact contact.
Basically, we have to act out.
Just go for more movies from you. Just 1.5 hours.
Please be there. Who was it? Like the illogical person that's not actually there.
It's that actually pertains to the key theme of atheism and Christianity.
Yes, exactly. Can someone accept that description? Because that'd be done.
And Elon Musk.
And it's Jeff Bezos. Oh, no, Elon Musk. He's a Jeff Bezos. Yeah.
Okay, so that's what awaits you at the next section. What is going on in the next
Machine learning.
Probably getting into machine learning.
You might be able to stand in the back.
Yeah, did you see how many people were actually attending? It said the room we usually in for EPEC and about like 30 odd people on the attending list.
No, 30
I was
people.
on the attending list, so
Yeah, same.
I also think a lot of people are staying out from the first workshop, which is now.
Yeah.
So I don't figure there are too many places there.
And I'll be here if you want. That would be good.
Actually, it seems as if Europe already has a smaller version of training and education portal. There's early careers training and education portal, and you've got the mentorship, you've got PhD, which actually are still up to date. So here's deadline like in 4 days. It's not a lot, but of course, the deadlines are still. Okay, possibly January, but so there seems to be already some kind of infrastructure, early career job opportunities. Structural fellow, lecturer.
So you're raising a recall of that.
I don't know, but actually I didn't know that this existed.
Stay there.
So,
Yeah.
conferences and meetups, summer schools and workshops. So they list something. Yeah. I don't know. Just
Between.
We would like this website.
yeah, no, but I just didn't know it existed at all. So Anita is listed, for example, and Edita from the
We suggest board members to like reconsider this website.
We can mention it. I think it's a problem. I agree it's not great.
So under society, you find it under job opportunities. There's also one heading saying funding opportunities. But it's more about the Europlanet thing, yeah. Society funding, bursaries, prizes.
and I think with the portal, as you mentioned it, it's more like a place where you can connect to companies so that like industry representatives also have access to it and can post directly in a sense. So I think this is more like
Curated by Europlanet.
curated by Europlanet. Yeah, it's still cool by the way, but
Yeah. Actually, I was looking to see if they've got an overview of all the hub representatives to see if there are early career officers appointed, but I don't find it.
I found it like
So I don't look like going to every hub.
I think there was one like I found at one point which representatives were represented. Yes, I know.
That's not up to date then. Okay, then this is not helpful. Because they're supposed to be your name, right?
I think so.
Okay, yeah, then this is.
I have an online meeting to jump onto at 1:30, so I'll just run off. I'll be back again at 11.
So the copy is needed anyway. Yeah.
Thanks very much, guys. This is really useful.
Did you take a picture of the board?
Well, we have a session here at 11, right?
Okay.
So I'll just be back at 11.
Okay.
As long as it doesn't go missing between now and okay, now you worry me. So.
No.
Who knows?
Yeah, but actually no, because we met the Mate.
Yeah. Yeah, okay.
I mean, there's no function. There's zero story about.
Do you know Solas?
Like, use positions.
One of the former EPEC members, actually one of the founders, and she was quite active
Yeah.
in EPEC, and she's not much like in my
If EPEC wanted to.
Oh yeah, well at least to talk to us. That would be
Then it
that'd
would
be
be the
useful.
public link.
we could just
Yeah,
but-
tell her
That's kind of
about our
main-
ideas and like her opinions, what,
Yeah.
what they have been doing before.
We'll bring
How
groups together instead of.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, okay, that would be really useful.
Is this nonsense, or have you ever tried these, or what are
Yeah,
just
that's
so
good
people
to bring
ask
up.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, no, thanks. Some way if you see her, then or me at the same time, then together, that'd be great.
Yeah,
Or just ask her to the next session at 11, if she has time.
the next session.
Yeah, the one at 11 o'clock. It's up if you see her.
Yeah, I will try to find it.
Brilliant. Thanks everyone.
See you later.
See you. Okay, yeah, so what we discussed, I think, yes, you weren't here for the first session. So just to bring you up to speed, what we discussed is we ran over again the membership benefits that people might want from EPEC and what we would want from EPEC. So we have a nice long list here, which I will make a little bit more organized. The ones in green are the ones we really, really liked, so these should be the highlights, and the rest are the things that, in general, the stuff we ran through the other day. All the things from those webinars and the blacklist of webinars we wanted. There was even an idea for a specific webinar. A way to highlight career stories of previous EPEC members, outreach opportunities, be connecting with companies, so it's not just academia, because we've been trying to bridge the academic industry gap, for example. That was really useful. Talking more about the community, the training. Something that was brought up by Europlanet was whether there are any benefits of like having shared software licenses, for example. So that came up and we made a suggestion of different softwares that we liked. And Europlanet also think about introducing profile pages for each individual member, and we thought about what we might want on those. So just to give you a background on what we did in the session before. So I don't know, this is again just a space for us to discuss any ideas we think we have for us answering the career support one. So for example, I think tomorrow on Friday, I will have to talk about how we think this challenge should be answered, and that goes some way to fulfilling it. I know obviously you guys were all here this morning. I don't know if you've had any major epiphanies in the last 30 minutes or not, or if you've got any suggestions since you weren't here this morning.
So what's again the main question or main issue around which
things that don't work and things people want from EPEC in order to get people interested. You can go through this list in greater detail if you want to, because there's quite a lot of stuff on there. But
yeah.
I think we made good progress this morning. There's a lot to talk about, and there's a lot to ask the ESF for. Like for example, on the profile pages, there's quite a lot of functionality that was asked for on there. For example.
Yeah, it's hard to come up with something right
no,
now.
No,
so
that's fine.
maybe,
I unfortunately have to look at you because you're the only one that wasn't here this morning.
yeah, maybe I can spend a minute or two to read the
And then we can quickly discuss as well, obviously because we have the session at 2 o'clock, what we think that early careers officer in a hub should do. So these hubs, does everyone know about the hubs?
You know they exist.
Okay, so the hubs exist. To, like I said, I think the other day, the original plan was when everything was physical before COVID, you'd have a smaller group of people who it was cheaper to get together because you don't have to all fly to one place in Europe. You can get together in Spain and Portugal, for example, and have a more local community, which is awesome. Then COVID happened and this didn't really get going, so there wasn't the momentum there, and that's why things kind of dropped down. So they still exist, and in each hub, which is something I personally think should probably change, but in each hub they have a set of roles that have to be filled. So an industry officer, early careers officer, outreach, diversity, I think. While diversity is something obviously that probably should be everywhere, but I think each hub should probably get to choose the officers they have. But each hub, at least at the moment, has a position for an early career officer. Can you think of anything this early career officer should actually do? Because at the moment they don't really have for example, have a remit.
Because we entered during the pandemic when it started, so we don't have the.
We were actually discussing it
Yes.
a while ago that it would be nice that there was a two-way link between that hub and the EPEC, and it would be good if EPEC members, for example, come to the officer from their own hub and express anything they have, ideas, concerns, and stuff that could be passed on to something that the hub could do something about. And same as well, the hub should have a bit of interaction with the EPEC officer in the sense of maybe someone in the hub knows of opportunities, or the industry, for example, the industry officer says, oh, look, I know that there is a list of these opportunities for people who really want to stay within Portugal and Spain, and I pass it on to the EPEC members. So I think there should be like a two-way link between this, and I think that should be my role. It's to create a connection between early careers, and because I'm not sure if this happens in all hubs, but most people from the hubs, there are some in mind that are early careers, other officers that are early careers, but I'm not sure this happens in all hubs. So someone that actually represents the early career is necessary. I believe the role is still necessary if we can do that.
Okay.
At this point, I might have a comment. Actually, to define the role of early career officer is relatively easy. Just like a middle we can even actually encourage people on Discord to connect to their early career officers in their regions. So it's okay, and early career officer can set the communication between regional hub and the early careers. Everything's fine, but I think we need to talk about the what's the word for it? The missions of the other officers in regional hubs, their definition of their positions. Without knowing that, I don't think an early career officer can work efficiently.
What our hub does and what each officer actually is working on or doing, we cannot do this we cannot perform our roles in a very smooth way, I think.
I see. Okay.
And since I took on this role, I know that at least in my hub, I know that there's been one meeting that I could not attend. So, but I'm still unsure, and I don't know what my hub is doing, and I don't know what person within the hub does.
Have there been any, just so we know before the call at the meeting at 2, have there been any meetings this week to help explain this?
I'm not sure if there was one that meant one meeting on Monday that mentioned the hubs, but I did not attend. I was attending the EPEC, but I don't think there was.
Okay.
I don't think there was anything.
Okay.
And the only meeting that specifically mentioned the hub was the Central Europe one.
Okay.
The Central Europe.
They had a social event even, I think, on Monday, didn't they?
Yeah, they did.
Okay. Then we can think about it on the opposite way. What would you want as an early career person from a regional hub? So I know my quick answer to this. So when I first moved to Austria, I knew these regional hubs existed. So I thought, oh, I'll look up like a local representative of Europlanet in Austria and I will ask them questions about moving to Austria. Like, how do I fill out all the paperwork? Because I didn't speak German and still don't really.
Where can I better look for example, I want to apply to this university, this place. What should I expect? What paperwork should I fill out?
Yeah.
What in terms of like diplomas and as for that kind of stuff, all that bureaucracy, what should I expect? Because at least Portugal is sometimes slow with bureaucracy, so we always warn sometimes, and I'm being
I
very.
feel like every country says this actually, because everyone in Austria says it and Germany says it too, and I didn't know Portugal's bad as well.
Sometimes it's bad. But yeah, so yeah, having the EPEC officer being someone that we can contact to have like an anchor there in the country, in the hub, would probably be nice. And in that regard, the officer, in my case, I need to better, should I say, familiarize myself with Spain, for example, and that would be my role there.
Oh yeah, that thing.
Because I know Portugal and I know everything system in Portugal, but I would need to familiarize myself with the system in Spain a bit better. That's already a feasible task that I can help. If that's the case.
That task probably should be better to have a representative for each country of each hub.
That's
Probably too many people.
but that's probably too many.
Yeah, but then do they even need to be an officer? This is where I also think it's too.
No, not an officer, but like a representative that you can go to if you want to go to that specific country.
Okay.
But the officer might be the one to coordinate, to put the contacts
Okay.
from each country. But I don't think the officer needs necessarily to know
Everything,
the specifics. Because
but at least know someone that you can go to if you want to go to this university.
Central Europe probably has a lot of countries.
Okay.
Portugal and Spain, so.
But imagine if you want to go to
Probably.
central Spain, you should talk to this person. Or if
Yeah,
you want
yeah.
to go to northern Spain, you should talk to this person.
Yeah, and for example, each member should like list somewhere. For example, I have experience with this university, this institute, and that one. So I can guide you through the steps and help you do that.
That goes back into the tax system we talked about.
Yeah, probably. But yeah, I think
You can facilitate for the officers to direct you to the people.
This is where I think, does it even need, and this is like a bit of a provocative question, does it need to be so structured? You know, like on Discord, we want a little advice thread.
Yeah.
Where you just throw a question in there. Like, do we need a thread for each country, and do we need a representative, and do we need an officer? Or can each hub just have a thread on the Discord, and if I move to Central Europe, I can just go, hey, is anyone from Austria? I just got this paperwork. Because like when I moved to Austria, I ended up getting fined like twice because I didn't fill the right paperwork in. It's in Austria. They do this in Germany. They said I could either spend 6 hours in jail or pay 150 euros.
Yeah, you can avoid paying by going to jail. But
Yeah.
I think you have to be cautious about what this means to your list of.
I know. I would have loved to do it just for the story, but I didn't want it on my record.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
So yeah, I paid the fine.
My main worry about this is if you go to the chat and ask her around. My main worry if there's too many people, no one will answer. The crowd effect.
Okay, good point. Okay.
That's why we have officers actually to directly question.
And maybe
I
the
would
role of
always-
officer could just be, well,
You should talk to
someone
this
asked about Lisbon, and I say, well, Zay, or myself,
Yeah.
can you please check this question? And that's already
Yeah. Directing someone
directing
new.
someone.
Okay, you need a coordinator or someone.
I think you need someone that kind of has not exactly power to, but
But just say, hey,
kind of a bit of leverage
you
to
help?
say, do you think you can help, or I'll look for someone else.
Okay.
Yeah, and this also would be important because if I just ask you because I know you're somewhere, maybe you won't respond. But if there's an officer, maybe both parties can will feel like kind of obligated to help.
And it's always good to know that imagine you have no idea how to phrase your question. You can always talk to the officer first. How should I put this in the Discord chat? Or I have way too many questions to put on the Discord chat.
Okay,
What
yeah.
can I do? Because I believe it's when you have one person that you can go to, it's less intimidating.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's a good point too.
For the big group, like,
That's a good point. I've been in a lot of WhatsApp groups, which we have a ride share for cars one, like at our lab, but I never write in it because there's like 50 people in it and I'm too scared to like make a spelling mistake or something. Okay.
What I usually find in big groups, since I'm a bit more towards the shy side sometimes, is that when I'm in a very big group and I believe that I'm not, like this is like a bit of imposter syndrome, that I don't know enough, that I can't ask the question because it's gonna sound stupid. But if I know that there is someone within that group that I can just message personally, I feel less intimidated by that.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree. On the other side, if the network is too large, cannot like all the pressure cannot pass through one officer. But I think for now it could work.
That's a good point. At the moment, this is probably possible.
Yeah.
Well, it can be adjusted if we find that it needs adjusting.
Yeah,
It needs
of course,
more
we can change
people.
our
Officers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If the officer needs like a sub, not a sub officer,
Sub-officer.
but
sub-representative for
sub-representative. or
each
something like
country,
that.
for institute or something like that.
But I think as of now, it should be
Yeah.
the structure as
Yeah, I
it is.
agree.
Because then again, my hub might not need it because it's smaller. Central Europe hub might need it because it's like many more places.
Okay, yeah, this is a very good point. Maybe even, you know, we have these profile pages, even if there's a way to search people who have like the Austria tag or whatever, or the Portugal tag, and just look at who's around. You might even find people at your institute that way.
Yeah.
Which might be nice. Okay. Anything else you'd want from a regional hub as a young person? Maybe signposting to local in-person events. So for example, in the Central Europe Hub, if there was a talk in Bratislava, for example, which I wouldn't usually hear about because my work is in Austria, maybe that would be a way for me to know I could just hop on the train and come here and see my Europlanet colleagues. Yeah. This is good. If the list is short, it means that it's not so useful, which is good to know. Is it one? I don't know if it's one community too many.
We could provide opportunities to visit labs and
Oh,
institutes
that's a good
that we are working in.
Yeah, especially when at least early career people want to know where they will be working, or if they really want to apply. But then again, Nigel yesterday made a point of go to a place and work in a place where you feel comfortable working. And I think that in academia that really matters sometimes a lot. So actually having a way to visit the institutes should help a bit with the decision of, do I really want to work here? Do I really want to come to this country and work here?
Anything else you think about a regional hub?
But I still would love to understand what are other chairs doing, because I was just checking the industry. For example, the Europlanet has an industry section, and regional hubs also has industry chairs.
Yeah.
And I have no idea what an industry chair does and how is it different than the Europlanet industry section.
This is so I think one of the things to help get the research funding was that Europlanet said they would do more industry work, and one way to say you're doing industry work is to have an industry officer. So I think this is why the position exists. But yeah, they don't really do anything at the moment. So would that be something else? So not just lab and institute visits, but connection with local industry.
Yes, that's the point actually.
That's actually a great one because, for example, like Nigel said the other day, for those who were in the proposal writing session, Nigel said, like not putting all your eggs in one basket. Like, if you kind of know roughly where in the world you want to live and you're fed up of constantly moving around and you want to jump into industry, that might be a good way to, and you're like, okay, I don't care about the job so much anymore, I just want to live here. I might be able to help you find a job in industry that's appropriate. Okay, that's good.
Yeah, I start to see a better structure. So the working groups can talk to EPEC officers, and EPEC officers can go and talk to the industry officer and can say, hey, let's find me a company that we could visit their labs or whatever they are doing. So this could be a synergy between the working groups and regional hubs.
Okay, hang on, that's a great point. Sorry, could you say that again?
Yeah, sorry. So yeah, the idea is if we have an industry officer that we know what are they doing. So EPEC officer can contact them and create a synergy between the working groups. So if working groups would love to make a visit for a company or a lab, for example, then yeah, they can contact EPEC officer and EPEC officer can contact industry officer.
Does this work for any other of the, I guess not, I guess it is just the industry officer. What are the officers, which
The outreach officer.
yeah, that might be useful. Yeah, like hub officers, and then in brackets, industry and outreach. I think university isn't really.
We have chair, industry, outreach, diversity, you get five, and policy.
Okay, then maybe it's just industry and outreach, I guess.
Policy officer.
Let's not get into that one. Okay, so industry and outreach should be probably the most relevant ones, right?
Probably the most relevant.
The existence of regional hubs is useful for Europlanet itself. Actually, it's not useful for EPEC. So EPEC officer needs to find a way to exploit their existence for early careers.
There's also the amateur community officer.
Amateur community officer.
Yes, listed. Portugal, Spain, there is. So, working on the.
I know who it is.
So,
Different regional hubs to have different sections, maybe.
Interesting. Already. Amateur community could be. Do amateur science.
Amateur community must be the amateur
Citizen science.
citizenship science.
It's not.
Okay, so we could use the officers. Good call. Anything else?
Probably we can't answer all the questions.
Yeah.
Without having this session at 2, I cannot come up with anything else right now.
Yeah.
Because it's all of this is just tentatively at this point.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of, again, it's the same as what we want from EPEC. It's the same as what we want from hubs, because the main hubs aren't really a thing. Like, we can redefine them.
Yeah.
But I can't think of anything else I'd want from a local hub. For me, personally, this would be really useful, this local anchor.
Yeah.
Somewhere, if I go somewhere new, I find my EPEC representative, my hub representative, and say hi. Yeah, and then visits and stuff.
Like there's that community as well.
Yeah, yes, that's true. That's true.
Yeah, and it makes things a little bit more approachable. There's a lot of people that have a bit of difficulty leaving their own countries,
Mhm.
and maybe this facilitates it.
Yeah, if you can remove all the barriers.
It,
Most
it,
of the
keep, it
barriers.
removes a bit of the barriers that you have. Just someone to look. I'm planning on going there.
Just to help with this. But might be enough.
Can you help me?
Yeah, that would be great. Yeah, I think that would be really useful from the agriculture. Oh. Yeah, I personally can't think of anything else I'd want from the hubs or where they'd be useful to me.
I'm trying to simplify it in my mind. So basically, yeah, just I'm thinking of we can.
You can draw if you want.
I know. You would regret that. But we can do it at the moment, and we can create a healthy connection between early carriers and early carrier officers for each hub, and we can like promote this on Discord, for example. And EPEC officers can force regional hubs to do something. For sure.
EPEC.
EPEC officers, yes. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, okay, yeah.
as the people in that region, the early career people in that region starts connecting with EPEC officers, you will know better what's the need, what needs to be done, and you could address all these issues and questions to regional hub
Yeah,
officers.
different regions will have different demands. So
Yes.
yeah.
Be catered to.
But the rest is between regional hubs and Europlanet. So
Yeah.
they need to find a way to deal with our problems.
Okay. Would a diagram be useful? I'm not sure if it would. No, I think that's clear. Yeah, that's clear to me.
Europlanet needs a diagram, actually.
Yeah.
A good diagram, like on the first page of the website.
Mhm.
Yeah, that diagram that they sometimes show there, where they have Europlanet, that they have the hubs connected in the EPEC group.
Yeah.
That's a bit more useful to kind of understand what's not a hierarchy, but how things are structured.
Yeah.
Because I was never too sure if the hub, because the EPEC working groups, when I first joined, the EPEC working groups, some of them have the same names of the officers in the regional hubs. So I was never too sure until I had the first working group session, if that was the same thing, the working groups and the hubs.
This also confuses me because Europlanet in general, Europlanet itself has a diversity committee, and then EPEC has a diversity committee, and they
Same
both
committee.
call themselves the diversity committee.
So it confused me at first,
I
I
know,
must
yeah.
admit.
I had the same thing, yeah. Right.
And this was back before the pandemic. So.
I'm going to talking about the working groups again, like the EPEC working groups. Has anyone thought about what they might want from an EPEC working group that we don't have already? So, we have the early career support, which you're happy to get involved with, which is great. The EPEC working group for that. There's an EPEC working group for EPSC, which John has been doing, which we've heard about. Have we realised there's an EPEC working group missing?
Do you have anything in your mind?
I don't. I can't think of one. My focus, my personal opinion, I think, it's just my personal opinion, is to more towards this like more centralized EPEC, at least to start with, before we start to branch everyone out again. Yeah, so I personally don't, but it doesn't mean that that's right.
Well, actually, another question: do we need all the working groups at the moment? Are they all active?
No. Like for example, New Frontiers is not active, so it hasn't been active for 2 years. So we don't talk about this because I think rather than restarting it, I think we should just make a working group if we need one. The same as with future research. The same hasn't done anything for 2 years or 3 years. So we just leave this and see if people say they want a working group that does that, then we make a working group for it. But I don't want to try and force the ones that don't work to work because it won't work.
And they could be doing something for the other working groups that actually need.
Exactly. That's my opinion.
I'm thinking of the early career part, EPEC early career part of working. Should the officers in the hubs be connected somehow to that working group? So the EPEC officers from each hub,
Yeah.
should they be connected to
Early
the
career support working.
to the early career support working?
Yeah, because you can support the early careers.
Yeah, it's a great point.
Makes sense.
I'm not.
What do you
I'm not.
think?
I'm not saying like take on too much of the workload,
Not saying
but
that.
at least be in contact with the same way that there's an EPEC, small EPEC channel on Europlanet Discord.
Mhm.
I think there should be also a connection between the EPEC officers and the EPEC working group, because that makes sense. It's for the early careers, and if you're dealing with opportunities for early careers, I think that we should be aware of that somehow.
Of course.
So I'm not sure if
Is that something that should go through the hub?
the hub itself. Now I'm thinking if it's really needed to go through the hub.
I get. Does this depend on the personal preferences of the hub chairs? Do you know what your hub chairs are like? Is your hub chair here?
I think it's a common problem.
I know all the members. Actually, we have only 3 members.
No,
No,
Alejandro is not.
Alejandro's not here.
Okay.
It was at the call, asking the question like 2 days ago.
He sometimes is online virtually, but he's not here. I know some of the people there, some of the other officers, but I had no idea they were officers.
Okay.
That's why
I'm just curious. I think this is a question I think we shouldn't answer now. We should wait until the hubs start to do stuff and then we see what their structure they actually take. Yeah. Okay.
Probably most of them. What's the word for it? Are going to leave their positions.
Yeah.
Soon, if they will have the chance. So we need to see that's happening.
Okay, yeah. I think we need to wait for that one, yeah. This is why I think this is a good chance for us to remake the hubs how we want them. Yeah. But yeah. Even if I'm being super, like, I have unlimited money and everyone has unlimited time, I still can't think of anything I would ask from a regional hub.
Yeah, because from what I saw, they're mostly focused on projects and on funding, rather than exactly the early career. So they're, from what I gathered, from what I saw, their work is much more vast, rather than just focused on us. So we can only ask for small things, small parts of it. We cannot take the whole hub for ourselves for the early careers, but even still, I still think the position is important. The connection is
To have a
important.
voice there.
Yeah.
To have a voice there.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. Callum,
Hi.
we're trying to think of things EPEC could ask the regional hubs for, and we've only thought of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things. Can you think of anything?
What are your 5 things?
So, as a local anchor for the local community, like in the local community. So when I first moved to Austria, I wanted to ask advice on paperwork, like having someone I could do that to.
That's really nice.
And there was a great idea about incorporating this to the profile pages on the website. I think that's a really good idea. A way to learn about what local events are going on. So I'm based in Austria, but Bratislava's close, but I don't see what's going on here because I only read Austrian stuff.
Okay.
Visits to labs and institutes. Before I go for a job application, it doesn't need to be in the hub I'm in. But if I'm moving to an institute in Spain, I would go to the regional hub and say, hey, I've got a job interview here. Can you give me some advice? Connection with local industry. So if I know I want to stay in Vienna, like I was telling you, and if I'm fed up of not being able to find academic positions and I go to industry, I want someone to ask where I should apply to.
Okay.
And then if we have our EPEC working groups doing their things, and they need help, for example, finding volunteering opportunities or industry speakers, they would go to the hub officers who are in touch with these things.
Okay. Yeah. So I mean, my only suggestion might be just to actually build on the visits for job applications thing. because we already run a mentorship program, it could be that you could kind of have a bit more integration between the hub members, actually providing a bit more support in sort of career progression stuff, or more informal the hub members who are more senior talking and giving advice to the younger members of the community, right? So I don't know how you would label that, but we already have this mentoring program which has been very popular and all of this, but maybe something that's actually a little bit more specific to your local area, people who might actually know the institute that you're applying for something with, or actually know the people. It might be really good to build connections if you're looking for something local to where you live. That's my only suggestion, I think.
Okay.
I'll have a think while I'm walking around. If I think of anything,
Thanks,
I'll
Alan.
come back to you.
Do you know what are the requirements to form a regional hub in a country that doesn't have a regional hub at all?
Are there countries that don't have one? Are there countries that don't have one?
I don't. In Turkey, for example, there is no, but Turkey is not a member of.
Yeah, I guess they have to be in Europe. I don't think we have an overseas hub.
Yeah, that's why I asked if that's a requirement.
It's a great question. I honestly don't know.
Isn't there any countries at the moment that has a regional hub and they are not a member of European Union?
I think
Switzerland, I think.
Which one?
Switzerland.
that's quite a complicated. They're kind of not really in the EU, but well, the UK is in the hub, and they're not in the EU. They're in Europe though. Is Turkey in Europe geographically?
Part of it.
Small. Depending on who you are asking, both in Europe and Asia.
Oh, interesting.
But in most of the video games, for example, if you check the servers, you can find Turkey in Europe. So.
Okay.
But there are countries that are geographically in Europe, not in the EU, or not in Europlanet, I think.
Oh, do you know which one?
Like Balkan countries like Albania or
Oh yeah.
I don't know. I don't know the rest.
Hang on.
I think so, if I'm not mistaken. Huh?
Isn't there a regional hub in Africa?
Is that? Hang on. I don't think. Well, maybe
Botswana.
the website has them. Hang on.
There's 10 UK and Ireland.
Okay, yeah. So we have Benelux, Central Europe, France, Germany, being separate ones, Ireland and UK, Italy, Northern Europe, which includes Denmark, Estonia, Finland, Iceland, Latvia, Lithuania, Norway, and Sweden. And Southeast Europe, which includes Bulgaria, Croatia, Cyprus, Greece, Romania, and Serbia, Spain and Portugal, and Switzerland.
Okay, there's one Switzerland, as well as like.
So yeah, Switzerland has its own hub, but yeah, like you say, there's no. I think it's correct. Yeah, Croatia's there.
Requirement to have to be a hub.
I don't know what the requirement to be a hub is. We could even ask that. What is the point in a hub? What is the
Why
requirement?
is needed for a country to join a hub?
By the way, all the Central European countries have their own hubs, and there's also a Central European.
They don't have their own hubs. I don't think so. Oh, are you saying like Switzerland?
Almost all.
What?
Central Europe is a hub in itself.
So Central Europe includes Austria, the Czech Republic, Hungary, Poland, Slovenia, and Slovakia. So they don't have their own hubs.
Do you know why?
All these countries underrepresentation members, I think. Maybe lack of workforce.
Probably for them to have them together as one voice probably would not be as efficient to have them individually.
Austria is too small to be a hub, for example.
Switzerland.
Yes, but Switzerland has the same one.
Not really.
You can ask that maybe if someone knows.
What was the criteria to divide the countries in hubs?
Yes.
Sorry?
The criteria in themselves.
Yeah.
What was the criteria?
Portugal, I guess.
I guess Spain and Portugal because Peninsula.
Same with issue with the UK and Ireland. I
Yeah.
guess.
Also Portugal is not having a
Is it?
workforce to
Is it
supplement the
based
wall.
on like scientist size per like, you know, in country size.
Maybe they did it like this, amount of people who engage with Europlanet. Yeah. Would you be interested in starting a new one? Is that what you asked?
Actually, I would be more interested in being an EPEC officer in Germany, but I was just thinking I don't speak German, so that would be a problem.
It might well with the local stuff maybe. You know, like, oh yeah, but if you're the EPEC officer, then that wouldn't be your responsibility. Okay, no, that yeah. I think it wouldn't matter that you didn't speak German.
Yeah, I was just like trying to figure out how could I contribute. So I might need to like talk to companies to offer us like site visits, laboratory visits. So they might be interested in talking in German instead of English. So that might be a problem.
Even though even in the industrial world, you don't know English.
Yeah, I know, but
they might just only be interested in German.
I don't know. Like,
In Portugal, you wouldn't have this problem because when they learn English, they will change for English. Even universities, as long as there is one person that does not speak Portuguese, they will give classes in English. No matter.
Yet, I would love to know if it's possible or not.
Okay. Yeah.
To form a regional hub in Turkey.
Anything else we want from a hub or can ask the hubs?
To announce the names of the officers. So that we can contact them.
We can bring that up when we talk about it. I just put, well, that comes under the in general be organized, because if I start asking them, like, ask them that, then I can ask them everything else, I guess. Yeah, I think we just have to in general say we need more organization from them. In fact, the website's not up to date, isn't very good, for example. Yeah, yeah, this isn't something we just need to push.
Where does that fall into communications? Communication part of your plan?
That's yeah, and then the ESF deliver that, but I guess they need the hubs to tell them who does what job. For example, is your name on the website?
It is.
Okay, good.
Mine is.
I guess when the names aren't on the website, it's because the hub hasn't told the ESF. Yeah.
But in my hub, there was an email exchange when I switched roles with my colleague. That at least existed. There was a confirmation that I was really going to take on the role and that the name was going to be put on the website. That existed.
Okay.
But I'm not sure if the other hubs do the same.
I think probably not.
But then again, we're smaller. In the sense, Spain and Portugal is a small community when compared to probably Central Europe hub and UK hub. Kind of all know each other, so it's easier to do.
Okay. Okay, but yeah, I struggle to see anything else we could ask for from the hubs. Yeah. Okay, so we've discussed what we want from EPEC. We've got nice pages on this now. We've discussed what we would want from the hubs if we could have a shopping list of stuff. We've talked about the software that Europlanet could give us. Can you think of anything else you'd want in general now from Europlanet, from EPEC? You're a student and you're doing your research. What else would you want?
I forgot to mention something actually when we were discussing the early career support stuff.
Yeah.
Language support.
With English, for example.
English, obviously, yeah.
Yes, this is a good point.
We could discuss this under many sections actually. We could like provide, remember we were talking about the softwares.
Yeah.
Yeah. Language learning options, language practicing options, I mean, you name it.
Also offering like a software that enables you to learn a language more easily.
Yeah, it's a vast world. I mean, Also, language support for local languages.
Yeah.
When you need to fill in a form, for example, in Germany.
Like a translating kind of
Yeah,
service.
exactly. Who is native in German would be very helpful for me, for example.
Or even if just kind of, if they didn't provide that from the people on the site, you kind of helping find those services within the area that you're in, so more professional.
Exactly.
It's a good one.
And lack of speaking experience is terrible, by the way. I'm having it at the moment. So, because when you don't trust your fluency in that language, especially in English, so it's harder to step up for any position.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Again,
that-
all the barrier of being intimidated.
exactly.
Lack of stuff. Which usually you realize that it's not the case. Your English is very good.
Yeah.
Yes.
At least
People
enough.
will tell you that.
Can I raise a point? I'm not sure if this is already done. This was sparked by the other day's conversation about excess money in the budget.
Yeah,
It might be.
we're not going to laser tag again.
No. A weekly laser tag. No. And I'm not sure if this is done already because I'm kind of new to functions of Europlanet and EPEC. But it might be a good idea for support and development in your career if there was funded opportunities, even like kind of for travel. So if certain research groups in Europe wanted to advertise, such as a summer research placement, where you could join their group and do a little bit of, so you wanted to diversify in planetary materials and you're not doing that, you can join their group, do a little summer project, and then if that was kind of...
So is this in links with the hubs?
Both linking the hubs and this first discussion.
Okay, that's a great quote. So the one thing that the closest thing Europlanet supports is these, I don't know if you know the Transnational Access Program.
Yes, yeah.
So yeah, you can apply and visit a field site.
Yeah.
But this is, you write your research proposal and you take it to them.
Or certain, PIs say, oh, we have this, project that we're working on, we could use an extra hand for
Yeah, because that doesn't
3 months.
exist.
Yeah, exactly. So, people could look at that and be like, oh, it's a great experience to meet that person, so I know them vaguely from conferences or whatever. Let you also build connections by actually going there and learning stuff, how to do it from them.
Internship.
Because we have that in our uni more internally, whereas people from physics will come and do a planetary summer project for like 4 months. And the department gives them money to live off from them.
Quite a few universities in the UK have this as like a thing. I think my undergrad uni did it.
Yeah.
Do your universities do this? Offer like summer research placements or things like this?
Our institute offers summer workshops, but they are remote.
Okay.
They are virtual.
So it's not your actual project that you're working on.
You work on small projects, actual projects, and you use actual software that, for example, master students are working on.
Right.
And you learn them, but it's all done virtually.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Because it's worldwide web.
Right. I see.
With costs.
Yeah, I think that's more of like European level, where you don't have to travel to like America, but you can kind of, if you're thinking of going from master to PhD, you can kind of talk to, because usually you work with PhD students anyway, so you can kind of talk to them indirectly about how it feels and get a taste of. Same as you would if you were going to a job, and we've mentioned that before, you can work.
Yeah, like if you're a master student and you're not sure about a PhD, that'd be nice.
And if you're thinking, oh, I was doing whatever, and I want to kind of think of diverging into that, then it's a good opportunity.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
I had an idea about EPEC, not the regional hubs, but it's from my very personal experience. So right now I'm not a student, I have graduated, but I still cooperate with my university.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if I will be still cooperating in a month or a year. So I might like to participate in a research project, and I'd like to find people who work on icy moons, for example.
Yeah.
And reach out to them and maybe ask if there's a sub project I could help with, and maybe I would like to know that there's a network. So I look for people who are active in this discipline, or I don't know, exoplanets or something, and see if I could participate somehow so that I can I don't know, do what I want, and maybe in case I'm not already somewhere, in case I don't have many opportunities at the given moment. Yeah, so personally, this is like an insecurity I have. So I would like to know that, or I would like to have this kind of support network in this case.
Okay, how would that be structured? So, for example, on the, you know, if they do give everyone individual profiles, so this morning you maybe weren't here when I mentioned,
Yeah.
you know, the AI, is it the IAU give everyone individual profile pages that you can fill out. Europlanet were thinking about doing something similar. So
so
you could maybe put on there looking for a collaborator in Ice Giants, or would you want to go out actively maybe actually? Rather than it just being, I can imagine people looking for something and it never getting answered. I guess you'd want to go out there and ask people.
Yeah, probably. I would imagine it will be like the tags that are regional, but tags that are like focused on what discipline you're focusing on and what field or subfield. I don't know.
So we put against the tag.
Expertise, yes.
Yeah, but it might be nice. So one thing we again discussed a while back was when you're writing big proposals, you're looking for collaborators.
Yeah.
This is the perfect place to find them. But if you're not writing your proposal before a conference and you still need to find collaborators, how do you get them out of the Europlanet network? Because at the minute you can't. I don't think they ever figured out how the best way to do this would be to get people working together. It's a good point. The problem is it's so big. Like I'm a member of a few like really big mailing lists. So for example, there's a very specific simulation software that the only way the community talks is through a huge old Yahoo mailing list. But there's like an email every day. So I just put them in they automatically redirect to a folder.
Yeah.
And when I'm looking for some specific advice, I just search the emails in the folder. It's super inefficient. But it's when people need something, they email the community and lots of people reply. This is the only experience I have of people pinging a community every time they need something like that. I wonder if that would be if Europlanet does move to Discord, I wonder if that would be a Discord thing.
I also wonder if it would be like, for example, it's my idea, but I don't know if it would be if other people will have the same need, or it's very because I can imagine that if you're already doing your PhD, you don't really look for opportunities to increase your research experience. But there could be people like me who are have finished their masters. Maybe they don't want to do a PhD, but still would like to increase their research experience. I don't know if this would be, I don't know, if this could be popular or not.
I think I would use that. I love learning new stuff. I would do that.
Yeah.
Every time I get a chance to learn something new, I try to take it.
Yeah, me too.
Do you think you guys would use that?
Yeah.
I want to increase my likelihood of getting a job after my PhD as well. So the more skills I think I have, the maybe more likely this is. Okay. Then the question still is how we organize this.
A good question.
We could I'm just throwing ideas out there. In the newsletter, there could be questions from EPEC for the society section. In newspapers, you write there's people who have asked for relationship advice. It could be like an agony aunt thing. And EPEC write their questions to the society in the newsletter, and then people from the community maybe reply, and they get put in the newsletter for next time. How about that?
We call it agony scientists.
Agony scientists. Something like this. Would this be a good idea or a bad idea? I'm just trying to throw any ideas out there. I never read this section of the newspaper. I just know it's a bit
I think that might be the problem. I get a lot of research sections in these papers.
Yeah. If it's something simple like, or I'm working in, well, no, because then people would just be asking for jobs the whole time. Yeah, I'm finishing my PhD. I need a postdoc. Please help me. I have 1 month's rent left in my bank account. Yeah.
You need to start next month.
Yeah. No. It maybe if you don't. Okay, let's say there is a section like that, and you can ask the society that way. What kind of things would you ask? Like even research questions. So I'm again thinking one example. So at the minute I'm combining data from 2 different spacecraft, but no one's looked at them together before because they observe completely different physical things. But we see a correlation between the two, which is cool. So we write this up at the moment, but we don't know if anyone can understand why. But then I guess we want the paper to be published first. Or if you're looking for collaborators on a paper, for example, you could say, "Hi, I'm observing this with this and this. Can anyone offer any scientific opinions on this?"
That's something we can discuss during these informal chat sessions, actually. And there's Discord to ask these questions always.
Yes.
And
Actually,
there are
like
external like Stack Exchange and
yeah, but
I don't know how the Europlanet Discord is going to be structured. That's
would it be nicer to do it within the community though? Would you feel more comfortable doing it in the Europlanet community, or would you want to do it on Stack Exchange? Because I know
I would definitely go first to the community because, well, if I know the people, people who are there, yeah, I would definitely go to the community first.
Oh, the forums where you can ask questions online.
Yeah, it's just an example forum.
Yeah, what's the difference?
Stack all.
Yeah, there's
okay, that's the one I've worked with.
Yeah,
yeah.
Because they basically look all identical.
Oh, okay. Yeah, isn't that like a planetary specific one?
There is one.
How is that?
There's GIS one.
There's physics one.
Physics,
there's all sorts of ones. Yeah.
Okay.
All these experts apparently, which is why I want to ask Europlanet first because it could be anyone answering the questions.
Yeah, why doesn't Europlanet create like a
Oh, Europlanet forum.
Yeah, I mean they could have it on their website where you actually you could have a little verified if you want.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, you actually
actual expert answer.
Yeah, rather than going on some dodgy, Reddit folder and some random self-educated person's
We don't have a scientific, a technical discussion forum at all.
I think you just post your question and then just want, you can be like, oh, I need collaborators on this. And
this also could be a part of Discord channels.
Yeah.
But what if someone doesn't have Discord? I guess that's just me. Because if I was to just Google a question, someone might have a similar one. It'll be easier to find on a Google search engine rather than.
And that would give Europlanet a good reputation.
And more visibility if people are.
Yeah. Also, if you're not part of the community, you can just do it as through just researching your own.
A certain question you have and go.
Yeah. For example, if you're an undergrad student or even high school, you can ask questions to the experts around a project.
Yeah. Okay, let's
they can work together, but yeah, I feel like it'll be more accessible to say if it's in public. Yeah.
kind of cool.
Rather than making science behind closed doors. Yeah.
It's a good way to give visibility.
Okay. I'll write the because this started at the newsletter agony aunt section. I'll just quickly not.
Yeah, she's gonna call it agony aunt.
Newspaper. No, newsletter. Agony. Okay.
I hope that turns into most supervisors make me mad.
How can I poison my supervisor?
They are avoiding me as this normal.
Recorded.
Oh yeah. I love my supervisor, so it's fine. And then this went on to the what would you call it, a technical forum or a scientific forum?
Yeah, just a scientific question forum, yeah. Kind of a planetary forum.
So I'm gonna try and go and find a new pen, like a new red pen. I think it's on there, so I just use that.
That's right, the people in their careers.
Is this going to be for members?
For the forum, no, I think it's more like as if you were to go on Stack Overflow, you can just create a profile and ask a question. But there will be people, I guess,
Like
who can,
verified
yeah,
members.
they can link there. I don't know if they're like a, you know, with Europlanet or whatever, that you can know their actual like.
Yeah, there's this.
It's a pair of lips.
Lips.
Kiss. But
Oh, it's one of the stamp.
yeah, and like this one's a heart, isn't it? Yes, it is.
Oh.
Okay, can I write? No. Okay, never mind. I'll switch to you. Okay, sorry. So, what have we got on the scientific forum then?
Yeah, there was a question that just came up. Would it be just for members? But I was saying no. It's like you can just create a profile as you would on most forums, but you can have profiles where they're kind of verified scientists. You're not being scientist catfish. Where you can link your, I don't know if there's Europlanet emails or.
So everyone can read it, it's fine. But if we can restrict the entry,
The answers, that people can answer.
the permission for like writing an entry. If you can restrict it to the memberships, this could also be a selling point for Europlanet membership.
Oh yeah.
So
You can only
Public
ask a
can
question
only
if you
ask.
remember,
Public can
Member.
ask, but only members can answer.
or only members can ask. Is that what you're saying?
yeah, only members can ask and answer. So public can read.
Oh, okay.
But what if the public have a question?
Then they have to be a member. But then, yeah, if they're an amateur who's interested, then they can
Yeah.
answer anyway.
Because one of the reasons why I was suggesting was because if you have people from high school or whatever, or people who just want to do science at home, they can also get involved. Because that's kind of excluding them to a certain degree.
This is evolving into an outreach project.
Yeah.
but
But it still works. Yeah.
Yeah, but because then you have the Discord channels and whatever, which are more private, which you can then, which is that platform for that, but this is more open to everyone else as well. So yeah, it's duplicated to a certain degree, but then it's also, citizen projects as well, which are also important. Because I guess your average citizen does fund a lot of your work as well. So they do expect you to be transparent to a certain degree.
If at least either permission levels or someone that actually fact checks the answer.
Okay, so members options. So submit, like if it was completely submit, it would be completely restricted. So they can only submit, they can only answer, and then the public can view. That was one option, but we maybe didn't like that one so much.
Yeah, I would vote against that personally.
Okay, and then the next one was the members can answer. Yeah.
Public can submit.
Yeah, public.
And view.
So the thing to have is like, even if the question generates discussion, then you can like log like this is the accepted answer.
Quora.
Yeah, Quora.
Quora.
Yeah, that one. Yeah.
If I think about it, I think that a lot of points are making it a bit too complicated.
What is?
The restrictions, I think, are making it a little bit more complicated.
Okay, you think it could just be an open forum?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that's going to cause any issue. I think we should have trust that people vote for all. I mean, there's,
Yeah, maybe extra.
I know, but to some degree, like, but yeah, because you have your own Slack, move to Discord, you have that, if you want to run away and go to safety, you can go there. But I think this is.
How is it different than any other external forum?
Yeah.
So
It's a-
yeah. Oh yeah. Well, we wanted the answers to be verified, right? That was
Yeah.
what's that.
Yeah, maybe the experts can have a tag or a different color or something so that
Yes.
people really
Yeah.
pay attention there.
It was evolved into further discussion.
Because the point of this was to be more specific planetary European based forum where you can look for collaborations, you want to be citizen involved projects, which a lot of research projects do need.
I'm a bit worried that having it too open can cause misinformation to spread, even with the tags.
And I would like to return to your one of your questions, and you asked, would you prefer the community forum, for example, or the other forums? So yes, community forum, but if it's going to be something like any other external forum, I would go Stack Overflow.
Okay, fair.
But I want to get a Stack Overflow for another scientific question about, I don't know, oxygen ratios and carbonates. But this might prompt me more to go and ask.
But when it's open to public, then you won't know that.
Yeah, but I don't understand what kind of misinformation you're worried about they're going to be spreading. If someone told me something that was overly wrong, I think I would have enough kind of thing to be like, this doesn't sound right.
But for a specific question, I would go for a mentor, or I would ask it on Discord.
This is maybe where, like, if we descope this again and go back to, or it doesn't necessarily need to be the agony aunt section, but where we asked for a collaborator in the general field. So if we just park this for a sec, if I'm writing a paper and I have questions about isotope ratios, or like, for example, we use this as a spacecraft data channel now, and I don't have much experience in this. So I've been over in Graz work in Austria, working with them because they know how to use this instrument. And this was like we had to apply for external funding and everything like this, and this was quite complicated. If I could say, hey, I've got an idea, I've got this instrument, I want to combine it with this instrument, who can work with this instrument, and we'll write a paper together. That's where, instead of me having to write a big proposal and get money to do it, I could just put it in my little newsletter section. But that means then all the specific questions just stay between me and my collaborator. They don't go on this useful forum. So that's the two sides of, that's two different options.
You could also have that same discussion in the forum where you're just like, okay, here's my email, or like, like I'll email you directly. You don't have to have that discussion.
Yeah, true.
Open field.
Oh yeah, I'm also just going to quickly put this with like raise Europlanet's profile as well.
Because if someone is being a nuisance, say in this imaginary forum, you obviously have the control over the profiles. So you would have, one of the ways to mitigate that would be to have a contributor profile. So if you do see activity where it's being nuisance, you could just remove them.
Yeah. I guess one thing is like the time it will take to manage this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if you remove someone.
Which is why we.
Oh no, I understand that, but I mean, people still trust Wikipedia to a certain degree,
That's a good point, actually. I trust Wikipedia.
That's what I mean. Like, people still troll on Wikipedia, but clearly that is non-profit and it's still being maintained to a certain degree.
Fair point.
Like, yeah, people are shitty, but so you can't just treat them on the blanket. You kind of have to give benefit of the doubt and deal with problems as they come. I think we should be open-minded.
Yeah, that's a fair point. I think what I guess would come back would be would need to, like, even if it locks down, even if we went up and they said we don't like this because we're scared about it, and they said the only option would be like it locked down so only members can post and only members can answer. So it's a discussion between our members, but the public can see it.
Yes.
Would you still go for that? Because I still think that would be good.
Yeah. I mean, that's still to a degree.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, only the public can view, but members can submit an answer, basically. Okay, yeah.
And that way you can also promote, kind of, most societies have free memberships, like high school students or college students, so then that way they could.
Yeah, they can see a bit more about the expertise and.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's nice.
Because the Georgical Society in London offers, for example, a 3-year membership if you're in like an undergrad, so they do try and promote you to come and join those discussions.
Okay, that's nice. Yeah.
Actually, in that case, it's still not a good platform to discuss about confidential stuff. Like,
Yeah.
Collaborations, ideas.
It's not discretionary to each person in that case.
It's good to ask questions, scientific questions. That's fine.
And start those coverage, but no one's expecting to have that, outward conversation on there. So.
Yeah, I told that's true. I'm trying to think what I told. I wouldn't put my actual data on there.
No, exactly.
I wouldn't even ask for collaboration. Hey, I'm working on this project. It's a great idea. Let's work together. So, because sometimes you know, I mean, you want to be the first one who
Yeah.
publishes that.
Yes. Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, you could have to see the project I did. I'm looking at it, so yeah.
Or even in general, like, so maybe something generic. I'm looking at energy release in solar flares. Who has experience in this and wants to work on a paper with me?
Yeah, right.
Okay.
I think that'd be very useful. It obviously takes a lot of energy to maintain and get off the ground, but if
But-
successful, it would be.
Well, the the template that Stack Exchange or whatever Stack Overflow uses, like loads of different forms just replicate it.
Yeah, exactly. I think EG even has a smaller version of this. I'm not too sure.
Which one is?
EGU.
Oh, do they?
I think they do. Very small. I don't know.
Oh.
But that's a question mark. I might be chatting absolutely.
I'll just put a question.
But I know somewhere does. I just can't remember where.
Oh, nice. Okay. I'll put EGU have a similar thing question.
Or it might be AG. It's one of the Gs. I might be putting my money on AG now.
And can the public ask, or is it just their members?
That's a good question. I don't know anything else.
Okay.
I can check for you then.
Oh yeah, it'd be cool if you can
Yeah.
find it.
I'll find it.
Nevertheless, if we were talking about outreach challenges,
Yeah.
we were talking about outreach subject,
Uh-huh.
then I would definitely go for it because this could be something like an ask an expert citizen science project or something like that.
Yeah. Or you could do like a citizen science call and then be like, if anyone's interested, email this email address. So, well, yeah, for example, in the UK, they have wearable cameras, and that only works. Well, it works a lot better when you have people just installing those cameras in their house. So you can put that advertisement on there, for example.
Not say it's already doing something similar.
Yeah.
Ask an astrobiologist, for example.
Hmm.
Yeah. But they're doing it for in the future. Because forms are like. Yes.
Okay, yeah, cool. That's a good idea. I like this idea.
Yeah, for outreach, yes.
Yeah, well, even for technical stuff for us.
Because like sometimes, yeah, I get confused about certain things, but there's no one in my department that knows that specific, point. I don't know.
Yeah, and then I have to wait for ages or to come and do a collaboration in another institute before I understand it.
Exactly. Yeah, AG has a forum. Take a look. Blogosphere.
Does it look cool? Does it look good?
The Wi-Fi is really bad, so it's not letting, but.
Yeah, okay. Then if you can, yeah. Okay.
Oh, it's loading. Yeah, it looks alright. I mean, there's this one I opened. Yeah, it just says Fred subject, and then for example, this one's called Mid-Late Places in Glacial Dynamics in Valyria. And then it says and it tells you like what community it's part of, who posted last, how many replies there are. And you can click on the thread and open it.
And who's that? Sorry.
AGU.
Okay. That's cool. And what's it called again? So bloggers.
I think it's called Blogosphere. Hang on. Well, this one's called Discussion Post, and there's a Blogosphere. I think they have two different ones, but it's called AGU Connect.
Ah, okay.
Overall. I think they're just different branches.
Does ESA have something similar, by the way?
That's a good question. I don't know.
Is what? ESA.
ESA.
But as far as I know, I don't know.
They seem to be much more quiet than NASA.
Yeah, I've not heard of one. Did NASA have one?
NASA has, yeah, I'm not talking about what's it? EGU Connect?
AGU Connect.
AG. Yeah, not something like that, but Ask a Specialist, yes, NASA has.
Maybe.
It's a YouTube channel, actually.
Okay.
YouTube program.
Yeah, it's like live stream.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Yeah, you can ask questions now.
No, it's not live stream. I guess I'm talking about something. They are just like 2 minutes videos, 2 minute long videos, and they select a question from citizen or schools. I don't know how they collect the questions, but a specialist, a scientist answer that question in a simple way in 2 minutes or a minute, and then they stream it.
Well, you know, Reddit AMAs, like, that Ask Me Anything's on Reddit. Like, oh, you could get a Reddit.
Yeah, recently Reddit has been on it.
I know that there's this whole thing with all the subreddits going private. I don't understand it fully.
Lots of power trip.
Yeah,
Pretty much.
maybe if they create their website, it might be easy to manage.
If they made their
A
own.
website for the forum.
Yeah.
Apparently ESA has one, yeah, but there's also an instrument called acronym forum, so it's kind of hard to find because 15 plus
Okay.
things are like far infrared outgoing radiation, whatever else like that. But yeah, I think that might be a good idea.
Yeah, I like it.
Because I know a lot of people use the OGU Connect because it's a very good discussion place, especially because they put opportunities on there as well. But I don't think we have anything mirroring that in the EU. So,
This AGU is American Geophysical Union. Right?
yes, they do even sometimes advertise European posts, so they're very generous.
Okay. I like that idea. I also like the newsletter agony on section, but I can see why this shouldn't got more traction. How much time have we got left? This is ended at 12:30.
Yeah.
I went quite quickly. We've only got 7 minutes left. Okay, so we've definitely flogged the hub's question to death now. We need to just speak to them at 2. We have all our membership benefits for EPEC organised. We've thought of something else cool in general for the society. This started off as like a what can EPEC ask the society elders in Europlanet, and now we go for a whole like knowledge yeah, like our whole knowledge exchange like that kind of thing. It's definitely like
I think it's a gap, knowledge exchange to definitely.
Yeah, we don't do it at all, as far as I know.
And the transparency also, because I'm always a big advocate of, public funding pays, for everything, so.
Transparent.
Yeah, totally. And then you get more public funding because people find it cool.
Yeah, that's good. One last final thing. Probably on Discord we will have like job postings, right?
Yeah, hopefully, yeah.
But there could also be something like I'm looking for a job, like PhD looking.
Would you put that on the Discord?
Well, actually, I couldn't structure it in my mind. It's just a last minute idea, but it could be very useful if I could see a list, for example, of people who are looking for PhDs. And so that when I hear a gossip or an opportunity, I could just pass them, sit through them. I could just connect with my own community, I mean, of course.
I'm sure if there was a list of job opportunities, then that's where they would find it.
Okay, yeah, I see. If we did have that, I guess I'd put it on. My opinion would be to suggest putting on the Discord, just because I imagine it would be quite full. Like, I guess a lot of people would be posting in there, which is fine. That's good. If we put it in the newsletter, for example, I think it'd be quite long.
Yeah, because it's usually a higher demand than supply. So I feel like probably people being like, I don't want to read that. It's like 1,500 posts. And then or you better click on the
yellow pages.
Yeah.
Have you ever used a website called Spare Room? Have you ever used it? It's maybe just a UK thing.
I think it's a UK thing, yeah.
So you can you make a profile if you're trying to look for a spare room. You make a profile and you landlords can also look through. It's not quite like it's nothing like Tinder, but landlords can look through people looking for flats and find ones they like. So it was like I was trying desperately to find a place to live in London and I could not find one. So you can record a video even, and I just made a video. Hi, I'm actually not a murderer. Please, I just need somewhere to live in London. And this was how I found my flat, because I applied for hundreds and I never heard back about any of them.
It's really common in London because a lot of people will be leaving and then you just like, I'll just take over a contract.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
So
but that helped
me being able to make a video just a 1 minute thing, please, I just need somewhere to live. Maybe
for a
help.
PhD.
Yeah, yeah, like if you could do a flash talk, but then who's going to look at it? They get enough applications anyway, don't they, for PhD?
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think
A written posting would be better.
If you could put a post like right,
Yeah, something written,
I
not
studied
like a YouTube video, because you won't remember everything that's been said in that YouTube video, for example, but you will always remember that there's someone who is looking for a PhD, and
yeah.
then you hear something like a glossy for a position, and it's easier to go back and check a written paragraph or items
Could that be even?
instead of reading, watching the YouTube.
Would that be a section on the forum then, maybe, or on the Discord?
Yeah, sure.
Because if it's on the EPEC Discord, this isn't so useful because the Europlanet guys can't see this.
On Discord, you can like post it. It's fine, but it's not going to appear like an active. I don't know how to structure it.
Yeah.
I would love to see an active list, like a list of
Like-
PhD searchers actively.
Okay. Would a table be useful with like name, institution?
You could have like on Discord, you can have roles, so you can put a role that says looking.
Yeah.
Because I remember something like with Google Sheets, actually.
Well, on the forum, you could have a, if it was a function, you could just have like different disciplines, for example, geochemistry, astrobiology, or whatever, and then you can, kind of like a table, and you can have your skills, and then you put yourself in whatever discipline you want to seek a PhD in, which might be also useful to narrow it down. So it's not just an overwhelming list.
Yeah,
People can just be like, oh, I need a student to do some projects and whatever, and then they can put their experience. Past institutions, so it's kind of like a very quick summary of you.
This could be a private document on Google Sheets, right? Which one is the clone of the Excel Google?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Google
there's Google
Sheets.
Sheets. Yeah. Could be, yeah.
It could also be on Google Sheets. I also think this would probably stay up to date because when you're looking for a job or a PhD, you're usually like I remember spending ages filling out my LinkedIn profile, for example, because you're like not desperate, but you really, really want it. So you'll put it in every possible place you can. Like so I think we wouldn't have to worry about keeping the Google Sheets up to date. Yeah.
I just think someone would need to have the role of
Oh, getting rid of the old
the older ones.
Yeah.
People will put in, but yeah.
Fair point.
But there will be a time of entry, probably.
Oh yeah, and after 30 days it gets removed.
Exactly.
Okay, yeah.
Renew it, or we are going to delete, so we can just share this information on Discord.
Yeah. I just this appears like 2 S's or 2 P's.
2 S's.
2 P's.
No. One S, 2P.
2P.
2 P's, one disappears.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Appear.
Oh, like this appears, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
This plus appears. So.
Yeah, British people don't have to spell it.
It's true. This appears. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
So we have autocorrect.
If we had AI now,
I've seen a colleague of mine using Grammarly. It's amazing.
Oh wait, Grammarly.
One has
Yeah.
two P's.
Well, that's one they could buy.
Yeah.
Grammarly plus.
yeah, but Grammar is also working with AI now.
Yeah, but you
Is
don't
it?
have to choose that function though.
Now, yes.
Because you have the AI which changes sentence structure for you, yes, but then there's just the spelling.
I use the spell checker plugin on Chrome,
Yeah.
for example.
Okay. If you don't know what Notion is, please check it out.
I think
I've used Notion before.
I used it once, but I wasn't like super impressed by it.
Same. But
Tell me what I'm
when
missing.
did you use last time?
2 years ago, maybe a
2
year
years
ago.
Well, okay, they improved quite a lot. So,
Okay, well, tell me what's so good about it.
well, just check a YouTube video.
Okay, it's really that good.
Yeah, it's really well.
They were advertised on London
You
Tube.
can create
Oh, wow.
projects, pages for each. I mean, you can create your own daily, daily or diary, which was
The diary, yeah.
diary.
Mm.
Okay. Yeah, you can tag them, you can easily search for them, you can create like workflows. And the good thing is AI can help you to create those like workflows or tables or anything you would like to do.
Okay.
It's like a slightly pimped up version of Microsoft Note thing.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
But you can use Markdown.
Okay, yeah, for the language.
Yes.
Hmm.
And you can like take your notes just like you are coding on Python, for example. If you don't want to do it on JupyterLab, for example, just you want to take a note for yourself. Yeah, you can do that on Notion. It's really good. It's really
Okay.
good. Yeah. Especially with the AI.
Is it free?
It's free.
To an extent.
Okay,
I
yeah.
think
What extent?
I thought there was like some things that were now paid for.
It must be, right?
Yeah.
There must be, otherwise it.
I think there is now. Like you can only go to stuff like
There's a limit for data upload, but it's only for a single upload, as far as I know. So it's not a terrible thing. And for AI, you need subscription.
Okay.
But I think Grammarly will also be a good idea to suggest because it does restructure your sentences, which is what a lot of supervisors say. Oh, sounds to me like good. We don't put a scientist who's maybe writing. Yeah, just be like, for me, I always write a really long sentence and it writes it really short. I'm like, yeah, that's what I said.
And the AI can do that.
No, just the Grammarly.
Oh, okay.
You have it as a desktop thing.
I just had the free version of Grammarly. Is that the premium one?
Yeah.
That's cool. Okay.
It does give you like free trials though, sometimes on the free one, where it's like,
okay.
Here's a little sneak.
Yes, no, I've seen that.
Yeah, and then I'm always like, oh, I write so badly.
So does Grammarly have like plagiarism checkers, or it could be another thing?
No, but it does the online version if you go on the website.
Oh yeah.
So the desktop app only does the spell check, but you can put different languages there. And then online they do have a plagiarism checker though.
Okay.
But yeah, it really does break it down into like structure flow. So when you click a little thing, you show like different areas that it. I don't know why I'm suddenly now selling the Grammarly.
Yeah, I've been sold Notion and Grammarly.
Yeah, we're actually getting paid.
Okay, that's good stuff. That's
Notion can do that too, by the way, please.
Should we, is Notion, so it's not worth a premium subscription for Notion? I wonder
if you don't need AI yet, you don't need premium subscription.
Okay. Cool. Okay, it's gone 12:30. It's 12:35. So, thanks so much. Thanks for coming back again. I thought we'd all like squeeze the last bit of energy and like creative juice out in the first session. So well done. Thanks very much. That's useful.